What's up, Panda? What's up? How you do? How you do? We're playing a demo of a horror game that hasn't come out yet. Figured to check it out. It's a point and click horror. It's been a while since done some point and clicking. And then after we do this demo, we're gonna watch some vids. No, no, there better be no game crashes or chicken shaders. They're banned. They're illegal. Never again. What's up, Phoenix? What's up? How you doing, Phoenix? Yoko, what's up? How you do? How you do? There we go. You're at a restaurant right now? You getting food without me? Damn. Rude. Now you trying to spam all the fucking Yuko, I see what you're trying to do. I see what you're trying to do. Uh-uh. They'll be trying to drown me in emotes over there. The loving touch of tentacles. Oh my god. Just because it's spoopy season. uh, cross your fingers, guys. The internet holds out. OBS doesn't crash, or I don't know, Steam doesn't kick me out of a fucking demo of a horror game. Looks like max is 3. Oh, for the emote thing? Yeah, I haven't messed with it. It's whatever the default is. I haven't really messed around with all that. I'm still a noob VTuber, even after all this time. Fast food or a diner? Depends. 'Cause sometimes like, it really depends on what kind of food they got. Local Mexican place. Ooh. It any good? Or did you just get there? Making the mistake of downloading. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. Horse girls. I think I know what you're talking about. Maybe. Possibly. Was it that one game that like a bunch of VTubers were playing at one point? Because I think I've seen like clips of it at least. My stream was top tier. What, my breakdown live? Me losing my fucking mind? I'm glad someone was having fun during that time. Oh, Phoenix. Your never-ending quest for husbandos. Oh my god. Yuko, I'm gonna say it in the thickest accent. My thickest accent. Like, oh my moo so me. How's that? The chicken lids for God. it was bullying me. Borderlands 4 was like that day was legit bullying me. Like I was getting smacked in the face with shaders. I kept getting kicked out randomly. Steam kept like going offline even though everything else was online. It was it was full on bullying live. Oh. There's been like no gotcha like at all that have any women you would wanna like actually sit down and play the game for? Damn, ain't there like a bajillion gotchas out there? Yeah, I'm upset at that because Yomi's usually the one that's like having problems, like crashing, glitching, breaking things. I feel like Yomi's trying to pass on her curse to me, and I don't appreciate it. She already has the better internet now. Like, she don't gotta rub my face in it. The butch women's, yeah. They're not brave enough to do that even in big 2025. Even though, like, there's... even though people lose their minds if there's even a hint of, what is it called? What they usually call them? Muscle mommies or whatever. Like, even a hint of butchness. Like, even a hint. People lose their fucking minds. But for some reason, they're scared to still do it. A gotcha of all butches. You know, there probably is like an indie developer out there, like, having that idea and making it right now. Panda got hit with the ads. Damn, already? We ain't even been streaming 10 minutes. What the fuck? That's so weird. Why does it do that? Because the ads are supposed to be set for like every 30 minutes or something like that. 30 minutes to an hour, I think. I don't know. Twitch ads give me a fucking headache. Ugh. I wish I could like completely just control exactly when the ads happen. Like if I just go for like a bathroom break or something. And that'd be it. Someone was trying to make a MILF dating sim after Dream Daddy. That doesn't surprise me. Because, like, even though those aren't really, like, my type of game that I go looking for, they can be entertaining. Even when you're not, like, thirsting over all of them and trying to catch all the waifus and the husbandos, they're usually pretty entertaining in some way. Oh yeah, no. If there's a lady in those type of games that's like 40 plus, they usually just make her 1,000-year-old, child-looking 10-year-old. And that's just fucking cursed. Can we stop doing that? I'm so tired. I don't care what kind of mythical species you trying to make her out to be. I don't... Because I guarantee you, there are women out there that are fucking flat-chested as a child and still look like a grown-ass woman. I guarantee it. It is possible. Can we just quit making them actually children and then saying they're not? We know what you're doing. We all know. You're not subtle. You're not fooling anybody. Overwatch when Ash was 39. Looks like she was 20. She's 39? Seriously? From the way when they announced her and from the way they promoted her, I thought she was like her whole thing was like her and her whatchamacallit butler dude or whatever machine robot guy were like I thought she was like a fresh new adult, you know? Just out in the world with her robot butler. Fucking shit up. That's so weird. Ugh. Ugh, God. I hate when creators and companies and corpos retcon shit to make it like fucking dumb or make no sense. Like in general, it just I hate it. It's like, can you don't do it if it, especially if it's like a beloved storyline of or lore of some kind, you know? Go write fan fiction like everybody else that wants to. Isn't that what you're supposed to do if you don't like something in a some type of entertainment? You just go rewrite it in a fanfic. That's what Phoenix and Tumblr has taught me over the years. You know those teen gangs, those rascals. Gosh, okay, we've almost been live for about 13 minutes, so alright, let's get into this. Y'all distracted me. Quit it. What's up, Yomi? I already don't like this. Why do I do this to myself? I'm such a chicken, and then I do this. At least once before your time is up. Don't tell me what to do. To stop running, I didn't start. I'm not really about that exercise life. I probably should be, because with my family history, I probably need to hit the gym. I might do like a mild jog, maybe. Running isn't for me. Oh. Well then. Alright, hold on, I'm trying to pull up the thing. I hate the fucking Twitch app, y'all. I'm trying to pull this up because it's... There we go. Technical difficulties? Fucking hell. Okay, I don't... There we go. Riverwood 46. Hey, it's the name of the game! It's been a week since I argued with Alex, my oldest friend. His house was empty, his phone silent. Oh, Jesus. Oh God. Yomi, how could you do that? What'd you burp in my mic for? All the way at work. Ugh, disgusting. Yeah, I think it's just the brightness on this game is like, that's it. Like, there was no options given. This is just a demo, so... It's not gonna burps, yeah. The university way he works. I found a map on his desk, marked with this place. He's anywhere, it has to be here. I need to find him. What time period is this in? Bruh. Like, I'm not... What? Listen. As much as I care about my friends and I'm like ride or die and I will murder or be murdered for them, this is just nonsense. Could you not, like, send the police to do, like, a fucking... What is it? What is it called? Fuck, I hate forgetting words. Stay, go home. Let's go, guys. Let's go. uh. A wellness check, thank you. I don't... My mind is... Okay, head for the house. Why? Because we dumb like that. Let's get ourselves murdered. Probably like our friend who I've already forgotten the name of. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. Nothing interesting here. It's the way I came from. Ooh. Phoenix, don't be sending me riddles for anything. Have y'all met me? Like, the only puzzles I can solve are jigsaw puzzles. And not from the movie franchise. Investigate the hallway? Oh, I don't like this. I can't see shit, y'all. Is there... Yeah, there's no options to, like, adjust anything. They really want you to struggle to see shit. You guys can actually see better than me. Like, I'm looking at on the OBS and the stream, and it's actually brighter for you guys, and very mildly brighter than on my screen. Filled with mirror shards. I was wrong. Or maybe right. I just did not know it will go this far. Now I'm trapped in this house. The entrance door is gone. Those windows show an illusion of the outside. I know that because it never gets dark. Wait, what? Are we trapped in this goddamn house too? Looks like it needs a key. Welcome to Ravenwood. Oh yeah. Woo. Oh my god. Later, Phoenix! I give to my long-lasting colleague and friend, Alex. I know the loss of so much research material has weighed heavily on you. Your silence on the matter doesn't change the truth of it. So let me lighten your spirits with this masterpiece. Could this be the place we've been searching for all along? Read it. The place has an interesting history. Tell me what you think. I would rather have us head there to take the measurements. Your friend, Bridget. Is that who we are, or is that somebody else? It's foggy, I can't see. The corner... Like, the darkness isn't empty. Don't be saying that shit! What's wrong with you? What? See. Okay. Go back to hallway. Yeah, I'm not digging this hallway. This house no longer makes sense. Something lingers here. It is not human. It watches, it toys with me as if waiting. And Alex? Nowhere to be found. Okay, who's... Oh! What the fuck was that noise? Keep the cover. Yeah, well... Fuck. with a small rectangle clean spot. Okay. Fine, take off the fucking cover. Ugh! Don't be leaving a question mark at that. What the fuck? What the? Bruh. Bruh. Not a piano, just the shell? Daylight, but it must be midnight. Okay, well that one letter said it, like, it never turns into nighttime. And he was, like, fucking stuck or whatever. Oh! Click on left or right to choose where to go. The right choice makes the footsteps quieter. Listen carefully. You can fail only 2 times. Fuck this! What? This is so ridiculous. Ugh. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Yomi is burping through the game. This is so fucking ridiculous. I'll try again, but I'm sorry, this is kinda weird. Okay, no. The trick is to make friends. Okay. So that was Raven 146. Select room. Is it just the... That's just where we came in at. Ugh. Okay. Alright. See, it makes no sense. You're supposed to listen to how far away the steps are, but yeah, this isn't a very good puzzle. Like, they need to either fix like the sound to make it easier to tell which way to go, or just get rid of it. Oh my god. That's disappointing. Because from what I looked up on the Steam page and when we started, it looks like this could be like a good point and click horror game. They don't have... I don't think they have a concrete date for it. For its release date, but they need to... I know this is just a demo, but hopefully they kind of fix that, because it's DVD interactive games. Yeah, that just felt kind of off. Like, I see what they're going for, but they kind of need to fix it up a bit. Because I can see a lot of people, if they don't change, like, the design of that, I can see a lot of people going, what the fuck, and just quitting if they can't get past it without, cheating, even if you— I don't even know if you could. Like, I wonder if it's, like, random. Huh. Well, I wanted to play the whole demo, but I'm not gonna look up how to get past that part. I'm not gonna be bothered. But yeah, like, hopefully they fix that. I might check out the actual game laters. If they ever release it, maybe I don't know if I wishlisted it or not. But yeah, I'm not— Guys. I was fully ready to get my point-and-click scare on. I'm disappointed. Disappointment. Disappointing! Yeah, we're about to do, reactions. We're just gonna go straight to the vids, because even though I've got other horror stuff to play, I wanted to do that one, and then watch vids. Disappointment! Where'd I go? There I am. I'm not even surprised, Yomi. I'm not even surprised. Alright, Panda, what video did you want to bump? We'll start with the caddy video, of course, but after that. Game Prices by Scott the Wales. Is that one that's up here already, or is that one of the newer ones you put in Discord? Looks like it might be one of the newer ones, yeah. Hold on. It's not your suggested video, but I feel like I want to bump someone else. Okay. That's allowed, don't worry. Yomi, you're a hazard to everything. I swear. Like, you are a whole ass Final Destination movie all by yourself. Alright. I think I got everything set up. There we go. Oh wait, I gotta change the stream thing. I'm so disappointed, guys. I'm so disappointed because I love point and click games, and even though I'm a chicken, I love horror. I'm so disappointed. So disappointed. It's like, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. Yeah. Hell yeah, what's up? Thank you for the 5 months. Hell yeah. Thank you, what's up? How you doing? Finally don't work through a stream. Congratulations. Appreciate you being here. Oh, you're welcome, Panda. We're just here to chill and watch whatever's. Having a good time. I think everything's good. Alright, mute this. Let's get on to, of course, the caddy video. We're starting with the caddy video, cause it's tradition by this point. It just has to happen now. I feel like we'll be cursed if we don't start with a caddy video now. Like, something, I don't know. Like I don't even want to manifest anything. Let's not do that shit. Let's not do that. But yeah, Resident Evil 2 remake caddy vid. Let's get into it. That angle. That booty angle.
Can you please help me? I spilled all my orange juice on the floor. I'm gonna suck it up.
Also, I just have to say, the fucking new look for the YouTube thing, I hate it. I hate it. Can we quit? Can we quit? It looks like... It just... I don't like it. I'm so tired of YouTube, like, making these ugly-ass changes to YouTube in general. Can we just stop doing that, please? So just stop. Like, I wish they would give us, like, an option to like, change it to, like, a... like, one of the classic looks or something. You know, I miss the old YouTube where it'd be called cringe today, but I don't give a fuck. I'm a millennial. When you were able to, like, design your whole page with whatever. Like, you had a whole wallpaper, you had a whole... It was a whole design. It looked like you had your own fucking website. It would be called cringe today, but I fucking miss it, because this is just... I'm hating it. I'm hating it! Rant over. Sorry.
Resident Evil 2, not only called one of the best sequels of all time, but even one of the best games on the PS1, just generally. Personally, I like it as much as the original game, but don't get me wrong, it's for totally different reasons.
Resident Evil 2 took the core ideas present in the original game and turned it up to 11. It's much bigger, it's more detailed, it's more unpredictable, it's more totally bloody disgusting, and it features a lot more variety to its locations, music, enemies, weaponry. It's basically everything you could want from a sequel. The reason I like it as much as the original, though, is mainly because the Spencer Mansion in the first game is so beautifully designed, so iconic, and gave you more choices for open-ended progression compared to the sequel that I feel the world of Resident Evil 1 massively elevates it over anything clunky and dated by today's standards. Not to say Resident Evil 2 is linear at all, it isn't, but it's not as tight with its exploration mechanics as 1. It's a bit more go here, find that, go there than 1. Not by a massive amount, but enough to make it noticeable.
However, it's fine because 2 goes for
Yeah, I haven't really played a lot of Resident Evil games, even though I love the series. But I actually was like late to the party when it came to Resident Evil. It just passed me by. For some reason, all the advertisements, all the hype for it, just completely went over my head for some fucking reason. I don't know why or how, but one of the main things that really got me into the games, or wanted to try them, was speed running. I would catch some people speed running, and it just looked like, how the fuck are all they doing? Like the old games, the old OG Resident Evil games, they'd be speed running the shit out of that, and it's like, I know I can't do that, but that game looks fun.
a different mood, a different pace, a different vibe. And so, after the original Resi, and Resi 2, and Resi 3, and Resi Survivor, and Resi Code Veronica, and some other games that I don't have but nobody seems to care about them, so piss off. If any game in the series deserved a remake, it was the original. So they did that.
Resident Evil. If the PS1 classic didn't convince you, then the GameCube's 2002 remake of Resident Evil 1 absolutely will.
This is the first Resident Evil game I played.
One of my favorite games of all time, and easily one of the best survival horrors ever made, in my opinion. In all the right ways similar, but in every other way completely overhauled for the better, minus the superior voice acting.
I actually streamed some of it.
Yeah. This remake resonated with so many people and left such a huge impact that fans were begging on their hands and knees for a version of Resident Evil 2 exactly like this. Especially with all the ports and remasters of the first remake and Resident Evil 4 being pushed out,
back when the only way I could
Capcom's
stream
time
was
and effort
through
being spent on a Resident Evil 2 remake.
The PlayStation 4.
So then they did it. And it only took 17 years. Yes, ladies and germs, today we're going to be taking a look at the Resident Evil 2 remake on PC, Xbox One, and PS4. I played the PC version, by the way. If you haven't played this remake yet, or hell, I haven't even played the original game before, then I'm afraid to say that I won't be spoiling anything plot-related, nothing specific about what happens in the story, but I am going to be showing off some footage from the late game and even the end game. I'm just not going to be telling you how you get there, why it happens, but there is going to be a bit of footage from that, just to let you know. And with that, let's go! I hope you're ready.
Let's do it, Caddy.
I hope you're ready to devil.
And our father.
So stop, Caddy. All right.
This game looks really
You were stretching it on that one, Caddy.
It's come a long way since 1998, and if I'm this impressed only within the first 10 seconds, I can only hope I'll be even more blown away as the game goes on. And I have been waiting way too many years for a game to render a realistic old greasy truck driver
fucking
eating a
cheeseburger.
burger, but the wait was worth it.
No.
The facial animation.
I can't, because when the remake came out, like, that fucking cheeseburger was fucking everywhere. Like, you couldn't see anything about this game without that fucking cheeseburger. Everybody was obsessed with how good the cheeseburger looked, or how nasty the cheeseburger looked, or just the detail of the fucking cheeseburger. And I'm like, can we concentrate on the zombies or something? Can we die?
Animations 2 are out of this world, and not surprisingly, because this game runs on the RE engine that was initially built for Resident Evil 7, and you can see it working here to full effect. It makes me think of all the possibilities of redoing Resident Evil 3 with this engine.
Imagine that you're getting ready to play this brand new remake. You see that fucking cheeseburger, and you're like, now I gotta pause and go make something to eat.
Fanny pack of hers, Nivea skincare. The sound design is top stuff too, if not for the soundtrack focusing mostly on atmosphere over dramatic flashiness, but voice acting is as solid as you'd expect from Resident Evil, with the same level of cheese not going too far against genuinely good performances. And every gunshot, zombie groan, floorboard creak, door slam, window shatter, it all sounds like you're there, especially with a good pair of headphones. Although it really doesn't make any sense, all things considered, because in the first few minutes, Leon doesn't only stand this close to an explosion, but immediately follows that with another explosion. which means the
Leon-
sound through the whole game should be more like this.
Leon in every fucking game is a menace to vehicles everywhere.
The first ever zombie encounter,
They explode
the most important part of any classic Resi game.
every time he's around them.
Come at me, mate. I've aged better than Will Smith. Oh.
Ew.
Well, that's embarrassing. I don't think I've ever died at the first enemy of a Resident Evil game since I was 7 years old.
Okay, so the reason that happened is because at the title screen I chose to start with hardcore mode. Why did I do that? Because it said that was the only way you could use the limited ink ribbon items to save your game. I wanted to keep it as close to the original as possible. But if I can't beat the first enemy... So I'm really sorry everybody, but until I have a little bit more time to sink into the game and get better at it, I think I'm going to start off with standard mode.
Anyway, what's the premise of the story here? After the original game saw STAR's Alpha team get lured and trapped inside the Spencer mansion where all the original horrific Umbrella pharmaceutical experiments with the zombie T-virus took place, they found
always
out
a
the truth,
corpo.
uncovered a double agent and blew up the mansion. But since the virus had already leaked into the mountains around Raccoon City with the infected dogs, it was only a matter of time before the entirety of the surrounding city would be taken over. And that's what you're stuck in the middle of and need to sort out as two protagonists in this game. Claire Redfield, a biker looking for her brother Chris from the first game, and Leon S. Kennedy, a new recruit to the Raccoon City Police Department who's about to
Having
discover
the worst first day on the job ever.
There's also a new virus in town called the G-virus being created, tested and sold to the military in the city somewhere by a scientist known as William Birkin. And instead of just creating zombies like the T-virus does, the G-virus constantly mutates its host until they're unrecognizable and practically unstoppable. That is, depending on how compatible their DNA is. And with all of that and a massive car crash later, the only safe haven for Claire and Leon to go to is the Raccoon City police station to try and solve the mystery. But hey, come on, the station being safe was never really on the cards, was it? Now with Leon as a character, well, he isn't anywhere near the snarky, indifferent legend as he is in Resi 4.
I let our miserable insects out for some exercise down in the sewer.
This fucking guy. I
That
can't.
should keep me company, cause boredom kills me.
But that's okay. He's rescuing
Caddy,
the president's
Caddy.
daughter. He's seen some shit, you know? At least the performance here does the job
Leon.
well and is great for capturing the
Sassy
windy do-gooder
Kennedy.
nature of Leon at this early juncture of Resident Evil history. I still prefer Resident Evil 4 Leon, though. The character just isn't as iconic as he could be yet. This isn't
It's his
Leon
first day
Kennedy's
on the
own.
job.
on that.
Leave him alone.
Did he just say chew on that to a giant alligator?
He's literally a rookie.
I'll have to write a report on this.
Oh my god, he is Leon! I'm so sorry I doubted you.
I've sent
Yeah,
my
it's just
right
baby
hand
Leon,
to
you know.
dispose of you.
Your right hand comes off?
The good thing is that he is still incredibly nonchalant and oblivious to everything around him, which I appreciate. My favorite snippets of dialogue from him being when he's surprised by an enemy and sounds a lot like a California soccer mum who
Oh
broke
my
a
god,
nail.
my eyes.
Son of a
Ugh.
bitch.
I spent all day on them.
Ugh.
Shit.
He spends a bit of his story with a lady called Ada Wong, and you know she means business because she wears her sunglasses in the middle of a blackout.
How can you see anything?
Compared to the original game, she's much more interesting.
It's
as a
Ada Wong.
character, too,
Don't
and
question
not just a
shit.
needlessly elusive and mysteriously motivated interruption to the story. She's not exactly fleshed out, then again in Resident Evil who is, but she is the most interesting and relatable she's ever been, and I really liked her. As far as Claire is concerned, well, it's the same old Claire, really. Caring, badass, pretty funny, she's really cool. The little girl she meets in her story, though, Sherry Birkin, looks a bit too much like that kid in Monster House, and it really distracted me.
Oh,
She's also the
no.
daughter of the guy who created the G-virus in this game, which I'm sure you can imagine makes things a little complicated for our heroes, but at least she's great at throwing acid in people's faces. What you have to remember, though,
Hell
is that
yeah.
despite it being a remake, the game is pretty damn faithful to its source material, and that's true even for the story, but now it has even more flavor text, character moments, and engaging cutscenes with better voice acting, of course.
However, it is still a Resident Evil story, and not only that, an early Resident Evil story, so all of the little inconsistencies and stupid moments, you kind of just have to brush them aside. The good thing is, though, I think the game is fully aware of how silly it is, and it rolls with it.
For instance, I can buy the fact that some shady scientists wanted to cover up their illegal experiments in a secluded mansion and rigged it up with traps in case anyone got suspicious, but why in the mother of God is the city's local police station designed this way?
No,
So much
this
for
is
the
so
traps,
funny.
But with locking
This is so funny because a lot of, like, even die-hard Resident Evil fans acknowledge, like, the ridiculousness of these random ass puzzle hidden room bullshittery just randomly around in these buildings that shouldn't have it. Because, like, it's the police station is vastly different than some creepy old dude's mansion, you know? It's a little different. Who approved
Seemingly
this?
insignificant things behind cryptic statue locks, medallion panels, and other random nonsense. I know this does have a reason because of who runs the station and the secrets he's keeping from us, but if that's the case, why have conspicuously placed dial locks on vital key items dotted around the place that anybody could feasibly
No, I get that, Panda, because the originals have, like,
and then left in a room with the only method of escape being
that
left in the
certain
same
charm
room with
to
her.
it.
And the fact that her mother, you know, the wife of the G-Virus inventor, gave her young daughter a birthday
But I
present.
think one of the good things the remakes have done have, like, revitalized the series, kind of like how 7 brought back the horror to Resident Evil. Like, the remakes, I think, are bringing in new fans, which can be a good thing for a series that's been running this long, keeping it alive.
That was the only key to unlock access to the G-Virus itself and even the cure for it. That stuff's really hard to swallow, but like I said, I reckon it knows it's a bit silly with a few hints around the game, like this part where you find a fat zombie cop in the station who even in death is still smacking his arms against the vending machine.
Yes, everyone in Raccoon City, apply today. Come and join the Raccoon City Police Department and you'll be just like Brad Vickers, who abandons his teammates in the middle of the woods.
And even in the underground secret lab where Umbrella are always up to their
Never gonna forget that, Brad.
still have enough time for brilliantly timed comedic irony.
You have dispersed a dangerous solution without authorization. Your actions have been logged, and you may be subject to disciplinary measures.
Ooh,
Now, when it comes to the
disciplinary.
gameplay offer,
Oh.
well, I've heard a few people call this
Remade
game
Resident Evil
scary,
4. Listen,
and I agree.
let's be honest here. Let's be fucking honest. Okay. Resident Evil 4, they could pull, whatever the fuck they were doing with the Last of Us series, where they kept, like, repackaging the first Last of Us game, like, every fucking year. They could do that to Resident Evil 4, and people will buy it. Like, it could happen. They could just literally continue doing that until they felt like stopping. Let's be real.
Because the scariest thing in this game is the plumbing bill.
In all seriousness, though, the game did freak me out a fair amount of the time.
Is it a
I
horror
wasn't
game
terrified.
without
I rarely am in games or movies
overflowing
nowadays, but
nasty-ass
Resi 2
toilet?
Remake gives you the gameplay that Resident Evil 7 reminded us that we loved, but with the design and classic structure that the original Resi 2 provided us, combined with the perspective and controls that Resi 6 has. But just because it uses the control style from Resi 6 doesn't mean anything. It's automatically better than 6 because it's more survival horror. I mean, come on, it wasn't even based in a residence whatsoever at that point. You might as well have called the game Exploding City of Impeccable Doom Evil 6. Now, in the same way the story is presented, this is as faithful
Me
to
and
the
Phoenix
original
gotta
in the
finish
gameplay,
that.
but with loads
It's
of bells,
so-
whistles,
it's-
tweaks, and additional
it's a
mechanics that would
comedy
make it
action,
arguably
honestly.
the definitive and spookiest way to play the original game. For what is kept the same, well, like before, you're spending most of the game left wandering around the Spencer Mansion-style police station as you go deeper and deeper into its chambers to uncover its mysteries. The station is huge, winding, full of narrow corridors, lots of lights not working. It loops back around on itself vertically and horizontally based on shortcuts you open up, and is filled to the brim with things wanting to politely tell you there's a bit of cereal in your beard. The game gets slightly more linear as you end up in the underground sewers into the final lab section, but it's still not as linear as it could be, and even gives you more items relating to the beginning areas to make backtracking in the late game worth it tenfold. Obviously, I can't really hide behind the fact that the perspective and controls have had a complete overhaul though, and where it actually plays practically the same as Resi 6, which was in my opinion the best controlling Resi game, it reminds me a lot more of Resi 4 with how it goes about its survival horror. Speaking of which, it feels a lot like that Resident Evil 4 concept demo that never came
Oh,
to be.
man,
You can
when-
move completely freely with the camera
Y'all
pointing
remember
wherever
that?
you like.
That fucking Resident Evil 4, it was like called Resident Evil 3.5, like demo or whatever. I really do wonder if they had ever like finished it or at least made the demo available. I wish they would have done a thing where the demo for the 3.5 version of 4 would have been like included with Resident Evil 4, like a little add-on. That would have been so cool.
Walk and run with a toggle button, quick turn at will, aim freely. It feels great and works wonders in the dark hallways. Yes, I personally would have loved it if Resi 2 was remade in the exact same way Resi 1 on the GameCube was, you know, fixed camera, pre-rendered highly artistic backgrounds and the like, and I do very much miss the original music cues.
Panda, I'm getting the impression
Not to
you
mention
might
the
like
original
Resident
voice
Evil
acting.
4.
About 2 months
A
ago,
little. Just a little.
there was this incident involving zombies.
But it kicks ass in so many other places it's hard for me to care. Plus, I can understand this approach to the remake over fixed camera because this is of course a Leon Kennedy game, who practically single-handedly made over-the-shoulder third-person shooting control schemes his bitch in the early days of that kind of gameplay style, so it only makes sense to bring the Resi 4 vibes back to Leon's beginnings. The item and inventory management is back in full force to make you decide on the fly what items in the station are worth you taking up a valuable item slot at that time, and make you decide how confident you are feeling to leave each limited safe room with specific health items or weapons just in case you're stuck and need them later, or can't grab a key item because you were too careful. Even more so if you go with hardcore mode and have the limited ink ribbons to balance with all the stress in case you ruin your own save data or lose all your progress from dying. With the new and improved Mr. X charging around the station once you activate him, I actually found myself sacrificing items or wasting them to grab other items all the time because I didn't want to take the risk of going back to a safe room in case he killed me, but I'll talk more about that later. There are also puzzles all over the station.
Yeah, I
for
remember
optional
when this
key items
remake
alike,
first
much
came
like the
out,
original,
and
with some being able to be sold on
people
the
getting
go,
their
some
ass kicked
requiring you to
in
examine
the
items in your
like the
inventory to
save
find
rooms and
secrets
shit.
within, others
That
requiring
was so
other
fucking
items or
hilarious.
information to access, and they aren't
Of course,
too
if it happened to
tricky,
me,
but
I'd
break
probably
the
have a
gameplay
heart
enough for them
attack,
to feel
but
right at home with its classic Resi inspiration.
you know.
Ammo for all the weapons is also extremely limited and dotted all over the place, so figuring out which enemies need to be taken down or what you can run around is a vital aspect to the tenseness of the gameplay and makes you want to hang on to every single that you can. There were many moments in the game where I had to run for my life because some of these bastards can
Oh,
really
my
take
ass.
punishment
Ooh.
and soak up your ammo like a sponge, but at the same time, that was rarely an issue for me even when they refused to go down because making shots to specific parts of the body feels so damn good in this game. The crunchy flesh sounds as you make holes in the enemies, the way they react to each part of the bullet's impact, it's all great stuff, and maybe that is why I ended up running out of ammo all the time. That is until I realised you could mix basic gunpowder together to get handgun ammo 3 hours into the bloody game.
Don't judge me. I thought you could only mix basic gunpowder with other types of gunpowder. I didn't think you could mix 2 of the same types together, alright? Although I suppose I did make the game way more tense for myself for the first few hours, so I'm not complaining.
Like the
Honestly,
original,
this
you
would be
get plenty
me.
of the tragic backstories of innocent people that were heavily affected by the greed of the Umbrella
I'd get, like,
Corporation
at
that
the
you
end of
read
the
through their
game.
diary entries and such. With this one from a random kid being pretty damn heavy and hard to read for me, and this one from a taxidermist who... What was he doing to those animals?
Hello, is that Ricky Gervais? Have I got an animal cruelty story for you?
Also, you
Look,
of course
no,
get 2
look.
different campaigns as Leon and Claire, eventually ending up in a
Some of
final,
the notes
final
and shit
encounter
you
once
can
both are
find
completed. And one element that I personally think should
in the
have been
Resident
taken
Evil
directly from the
series
original was the fact that
are
the
like
2
really
campaigns
fucked up.
don't
Some are
massively
funny,
cross
some are
over as
just
much as
fucked
I'd
up.
like for a remake. I think it's great as it is, but I do think for a remake there could have been a little bit more meat to it. There's elements of crossing over with the cutscenes that appear in both stories while some things are happening at similar times, but in terms of gameplay, the game just assumes you're playing for the first time with both characters, whoever you choose to pick, even on the second run. It's possible for both characters to fight the exact same bosses in the same locations, grab the same items in totally different locations and for different reasons, and that kind of stuff took me out of the atmosphere a little bit, especially when playing both campaigns back to back, but each campaign is different enough in every other way for it to be totally worth an immediate replay, like the original PS1 game. Not only for the fresh perspective of similar story events, completely different orders and
It's okay,
structures of
Panda,
how
it's
the police
okay.
station is completed,
Yomi
and
does it all the
totally
fucking
unique
time.
locations and scenarios exclusive to each character, but also for the new weapons exclusive to them too. With Claire's late game loadout weapons like the submachine gun, grenade launcher, minigun, and electric zappy charge needle thing kicking some serious bloody zombie bottom compared to the original game. Plus, if you're smart enough
not
to take pictures
zombie
of certain
fart.
notes and combinations of safes and lockers in one campaign, like I did, most of the time they will work in the second campaign, aside from a couple of things like this computer system in the labs which has codes that are different in both campaigns, which I can't decide if it's either a very clever trick for people breezing through the game on a second try, or a blatant middle finger to pad things out and force you to go through enemies you could otherwise have totally ran around. But even if you do some occasional identical
The way
things
that
over each campaign,
that
if you
close
know what
shot
you're doing and have a
that just
better map of the
happened to
layout
her,
firmly in your head, you can trim the fat
her
of the second
eyebrows would
playthrough
be
potentially
gone.
by hours. So overall, the lack of crossing over in terms of gameplay
At the
isn't
very
that big
least.
of a deal to me. I just think it would have been cool to see. By the way, am I the only one that found Claire's campaign much harder than Leon's? The start of the game I found really tricky as her trying to manage the small inventory space around how much of the police station she was able to access in the early game. And coupling that with what felt like a lot less ammo and more enemy encounters left me with absolutely nothing once I ran into my first liquor on her story. And if you want tense, my god, that was tense.
By the way, I'm sure you've noticed
The way
by this
it's
point,
crawling
I'm
at her,
actually
though,
using the alternate costume for Claire based on her original PS1.
I can't tell if it was trying to
outfit.
be
And you can thank my
threatening
good friend
or
Luke for that.
Ask
Not
for
only did I
doggy
discover
treats.
that, but I also found out that you can buy some DLC for the game that allows you to play the entire game with all the original sound effects and music from the PS1 game that would appear when they would appear in the original.
Okay, well, even though I do absolutely love this edition and it made my second playthrough that much more enjoyable and tingly for my nostalgia,
Oh, my eyes! Quit flashbanging me.
I think it's a little pissing cheeky that Capcom are charging a microtransaction price for it when, just like the costumes within the
Yeah,
game,
no, they still do that kind of shit, like, to this day with remakes. Like, trying to nostalgia bait with these fucking DLCs that should just be in the game already. Let's be fucking real now. Let's be fucking real. Come on.
it could have just been an unlock to incentivize getting a better score by replaying the game. On the other hand, though, I don't care, because at the same time, not only is the police station theme back, one of my favorites in Resident Evil history,
Anybody here?
but also the safe room theme.
If you aren't feeling nostalgic,
Yeah, see,
though, or you just
a lot of the
aren't a fan
OG
the
stuff
original
just
game
hits
full
different.
Stop, don't worry, because the changes this game brings against the original are astronomical. It's as different as the GameCube remake of the first game was, but in its own unique way. And not
Paying
just
more
with the
for
new
less
perspective
is
and control style, but with
like the modern setting for
practically
everything.
else.
There are
Video
plenty of
games,
familiar beats for fans of the
movies,
original game, but also many, many more surprises
food.
for those same veterans, which is very noticeable with brand new enemies to fight, major encounters not appearing where you initially thought they would, hints and teasers building tension towards moments that will never happen, and my god, with this new RE engine powerhousing its way through the game, the lighting alone makes the game tense and even got me into trouble because I wasn't being perceptive enough. And combining that with not expecting something to happen at a certain point, and for as fantastic and unbelievable the situations in the game can be, like Resi 7, it still manages to look grimy, gritty, and eerily realistic while running at 60 FPS without any hiccups whatsoever. And all those moments of distant zombies breaking.
Yeah, see, sorry, it just popped in my head, but like I saw something of Silent Hill F, the new Silent Hill that just came out. I saw someone post like a clip when they like turned the brightness all the way up, and apparently like either the brightness was all the way up or they like made the fog disappear. They did something to where you could basically see a lot clearly around everything, and apparently it made it more creepy and more scary. And I just find that funny because like only in certain situations in a horror game could you turning the brightness up or making it easier to see things make it more horrifying to play.
Into windows, scattering the light particles against the dust, your torchlight reflecting off of open wounds and pulpy flesh, and every shadow created by
Once again, her
objects,
eyebrows
imagery,
are
and
just
yourself playing
gone.
tricks
Like,
on you really makes it special. The game even keeps that adorable detail from the original of higher damage inflicted on you being visible in your walk cycle. Oh, bless. Got a cramp, Claire? You should cut down on your pork life, mate. Get some exercise. It really does look utterly gruesome, though. I mean, Resident Evil 2 was always more focused on body horror and the major consequences of bad people taking a dangerous thing they have too far at the expense of huge populations, and this game with its sleek and hot updated look accentuates it to the max. Those Birkin transformations, man, those Birkin transformations, talk about disturbing. What was already an impressively detailed feat for PS1 hardware is now given the true level of horror it deserves, and I can say the same for the one-off action set piece as you run away from a giant mutant alligator. This bit looks so damn cool. I completely love it, and it doesn't have any quick time events like Resi 4's moments like this would have, so it's all good in my books.
oh my
The game does
god,
not
quick time
shy away
events are like
once from
one of the
guts pouring
banes
out
of my
torsos,
existence. I
grenades
can't.
erupting upper bodies of monsters, heads splitting
Especially
open
when
from
it's like,
headshots,
it looks like
even
it's a
going as far as to
cutscene
show off
instead
every
of
bullet wound you
gameplay.
inflict on a zombie, and even individually let you
Drives me
remove
fucking
limbs
nuts.
as they string off from the body like old kebab meat. I even tested this out to check how detailed it was, and you can indeed not only shoot or slice off arms and legs, but even be as specific as separate feet from the leg that it's attached to. Something that doesn't really benefit you that much as a player in the grand scheme of things,
Wow.
but Christ, what a great detail.
She really just
The final form of Birkin looks like a lady's tuppence. Another change to the game is wooden boards. A very
That one
limited
zombie,
resource
I don't
that takes
know,
up another
that
crucial
looks
space in
personal.
your inventory, but one that can majorly help you as you stop the
I need to
possibility of
play the
zombies and
Bayonetta
monsters
games,
crashing
though.
through ground floor windows down the corridors you'll be running through repeatedly through the game. However, you can't board up every
I do
single
need to
window
play
in
the
game, so
Bayonetta
picking the
games.
best ones entirely out of
That is
strategy
on
to
my
save yourself health and
humongous
ammo by other
backlog.
zombies breaking through becomes another small
I'll
element of
probably
the game
hate
that
the
piles on
quick
top of
time,
everything else you
like,
need to think about. Plus,
bullshittery.
it's great to interact with the window you're trying to board up because the game freezes
But
time
from,
for a
like,
second, and if a
what
zombie
little
is
I've
already
seen of the
standing there trying
games-
to break in, it's like Want another great change, the knife. I'm thrilled to say that it's
From
actually useful
what I've
in
seen
this game. It's not that
of
high
the
in
games,
damage,
though.
but it's very fast.
It's
and
gonna be
great for killing
entertaining.
threats you already knocked down after a well-placed shot or after blowing a leg off or something. So to compensate for its usefulness, it doesn't only have a degradation bar, and you can only find a few in the game overall, but it also takes up another inventory slot. And if you get grabbed while holding one, you can either choose to take the hit in exchange for health and save the knife, or knock off a huge amount of the degradation bar in order to damage the enemy, push them back, and save yourself last minute. And you need to kill the enemy again to get the knife
Yeah, one
back.
of the
Or you
things
can
that
just be like
always
me and panic in the
set me
middle of that
back when I-
situation, use the
when
knife
I've played,
automatically and run away because
Resident
you have no
Evil
ammo,
games
wasting the knife forever.
has
Not only that,
has
you can
always
even
been
use
the
flash grenades
inventory.
to stun a group, normal grenades to
'Cause I like
destroy
to
a group
hoard
and rip
shit.
their flesh off, or once again use them as get out of jail free cards too by shoving it into a grabby enemy's mouth at the cost of the sub weapon power and effectiveness being quite a bit weaker. For another great change too, in terms of the lickers, not only are they completely horrifying in this game, but also can even be totally avoided if you remain quiet because obviously they're blind. And I didn't expect them to do anything remotely like that in this game. Remember when I mentioned reaching the first licker encounter with Claire and I had no ammo or items to help me out? This strategy completely saved my life as I made a dash for the next room. It was one of the most memorable and scariest things I've experienced in a game for a long time. The new weapons to pick up and upgrades for them are really infrequent and sometimes cryptic to obtain, and even after getting them, it's not like
Just
you're
whips
making
out a
moving
flamethrower
chess in
out
the
of his
original
ass.
games where you're
First day on the
essentially
job.
trading ammo to level the
First day
playing
on the
field
job.
depending on the weapon you use with guaranteed hits because of how you only need to point the gun at the enemy. Now you don't only have limited ammo but also have to be a good aim, all the while dealing with zombies that react to your shots and the environment around you, dogs being able to move and
What's
jump
up,
at you faster
Pokemon
than ever
Ian?
before, and lickers being incredibly difficult to take down. So in a word, screw it. To complement the smoother gameplay too, the map feature not only shows you which keys go with which doors as long as you examine them like in the original, but also shows you different colors of rooms based on if you found everything yet in that room, and shows you specific items of interest and where they are if you walk past them.
Yeah,
Which,
we watching some
on one hand
vids.
is
Tried to
insanely
play a
useful,
horror
and I
dem-
appreciate
a
it to keep
horror
the pace of the
demo
game
earlier,
up
but
over
it
2
didn't go well.
campaigns. But I also do like the idea of you being left alone trying to remember
So we're
where
just chilling
things are
watching
based on
vids
if you
now.
can't carry the items at the moment. It's another level of punishment to you for being too careful. Once again, I think it adds to the stress of things to think about while you're panicking in a survival situation. This way isn't bad though, I like both methods. The puzzles too, some of them have been changed up quite a bit. There were many of them where I assumed you'd need another bit of paper or a note to read in order to solve them, at which point I noticed you just needed to be a bit more perceptive around your immediate location. Like with the Leon's desk puzzle, you're told to find out the names of all your comrades on the force and use their initials to open the double locks. And I thought you'll just find a report paper or a register somewhere to get the names, but no, all you gotta do is look at their desks for their name signs. The solution was already there. It's more logical and I appreciate that. Okay, well it's not quite as logical as hiding a special gun behind a door that needs to be unlocked by a USB stick that's hidden in a jeweled box that you need to open with a red jewel from
The
a set that will only drop once you
ridiculousness.
attach a red library
The
book to a statue's arm in
ridiculousness
order to
of
move
these
the statue
fucking
in the middle of
puzzles.
the police station. But what was my point? My favorite puzzle using this kind of logic was incredibly simple yet brilliant to me. You find a broken police car key and a note telling you the vehicle number and that you can't open the doors of the car with the physical key. I ran around for a while in the garage and couldn't find the exact vehicle number, and so I assumed the item
Welcome
would
back,
automatically
Yumi.
work now that I had it whenever I got near to the correct vehicle. I just had to keep pressing X around the doors or something. But no, all you need to do is examine the key and press the keyless entry button and follow the flash of the car you just unlocked. I loved that. It was logical yet not totally obvious. In terms of everything else, what was once a game that had a large variety of enemies and situations is very much the same here, but with even more to take back even some of the most avid Resi 2 fans. Every time you go back through old areas you thought was safe, there is always a chance that a new window will break, a new vent cover will blow out, a new enemy will wake up, or a stronger enemy will run at you from a corner when you really weren't ready for them. And the game is also great for Resi 2 fans with how it teases and hints at you about the badass and nasty things to come later. If you've never played the original, then you won't know what will happen anyway, but even if you have an idea, you'll be kept as tense as my ass on a cold day, since reveals of new things are often early,
fuck,
late,
Caddy?
or totally swapped around from what you'd expect. Like when Ada 1 gets involved in Leon's story and you get that new hacking side mini game gun thing while trying to survive the odds. That was a surprise, as was that part where you play as Sherry Birkin for a very short time. But easily the worst surprise I could have ever wanted was from Mr. X. Mr. bloody X. I thought I'd be
Oh my
safe
god, the
far
memes
away from him
alone.
until the second campaign at least, but
Thank you for the
no,
follow.
here I am just moseying along minding my own Leon business. And then only a few hours into the very beginning of the game, whoa, he's there!
Jesus Christ! Yes, Leon, that's exactly what I said out loud when I first played this
Yeah,
game.
you
I'm glad
mean
we're
you
on
should
the
be
same
getting
page.
paid
Also,
for
if
like
you didn't think the game was really that scary to begin with,
at least 3
Mr. X turns
different jobs.
Resident Evil 2 into
You needed
laxative
3
the video
paychecks.
game.
In case you
For
weren't
one.
aware, this is an experimental, semi-indestructible mutant who's been sent out by Umbrella to clean up any witnesses
Look
to
at him
the
just
disaster that happened
aura
here. All
farming
he does
over
is
there.
follow you throughout the police station wherever you go and tries to kill you. That's all he does. He's basically Nemesis before Nemesis was Nemesis. And in the original game,
The
like I said, he
Nemesis?
doesn't appear until the second campaign at all. Here, he doesn't only appear much earlier in the game, but you also
Yeah,
come
from what I
around
heard though
door-
about the remakes when it comes to remake the 2 and 3 is that Nemesis should have had what they did with Mr. X in this remake. Like, and they just kind of fucked it up in the 3rd remake. From what a lot of OG Resident Evil fans said. And just, I felt bad because Resident Evil 3 is like one of those top fan favorites. It's fucking Nemesis. How do you screw up Nemesis? And then they, for some reason, took out a lot of content from the OG Resident Evil 3. For some fucking reason, I don't know. It was just weird. Alright, Yomi. Leaving us again. I see how it is. I see how it fucking is.
loading screens to get rid of him for a second or buy you some time. He'll chase you around wherever he sees you. He follows the sounds of your bullets when you desperately need to protect yourself against zombies, and even listens for your sprinting feet. Even worse, his behaviors are interchangeable. One time I was in the records room and he searched for me as soon as I picked up a key item in there, so I deduced that I triggered him to appear in that room. But after a swift death later on, I replayed that part, grabbed
Here's
the
Yomi.
item,
Yomi's,
and he
Yomi X
never arrived.
over here.
Only
She is longtime best friend of mine. And occasionally plays games with me on here and streams. She also, for some fucking reason, has passed on her curse of breaking video games and shit to me. I don't know why, but it's...
to then pop up and ambush me in the main hall of the police station. Yes, the main hall that's supposed to be one of the safest areas of the game. He looks so intimidating and daunting. He
Panda
marches
got
and
hit with the
charges
ads again.
towards you with such lethal conviction. His droning, deathly musical score that accompanies him is actually freaky just on its own. He goes up and down stairs and even jumps down ladders. He simply just does not care what you are dealing with or what you're in the middle of. He's always out there searching for you. And just knowing that and trying to plan your next move based on his vicious stomps echoing through the halls got my blood pumping. This also made me extremely nervous when I had to complete a puzzle in the game that was taking a fair amount of time because at any point I could be interrupted and I just had to keep looking around my shoulder. But he can also get stuck. Hello? Hello? Are you okay? Oh god! And with Mr. X chasing you, thank the Lord for this police station. I mentioned earlier it's similar to the Spencer Mansion from the first game, and another reason for that is that everything connects back on itself, especially once unlocking the correct doors, making most encounters with Mr. X totally escapable if you remember where to sprint to and where no enemies will be waiting to surprise you.
When I first played this remake, like the first time Mr. X, like, freaked me out, Mr. X wasn't even actually there. Like, they would do this thing where it's like they would have shadows or things in certain rooms that would give off the impression that Mr. X is in there, but it wasn't actually Mr. X. And that always freaked me the fuck out. It got me. It got me.
You can even move chairs or bookcases for certain shortcuts, which is a benefit to your exploration, yet a hindrance to you for escaping Mr. X. So choosing whether or not to keep a door totally safe and secure against the idea of backtracking through more rooms
What
to
kind
reach
of
a past
question?
area becomes yet another decision for you to balance out in your head. This is also
Do I
especially
love
where the
sleeping?
third-person view helps out tremendously.
I do
Anticipating
occasionally.
your next move to avoid an attack by being able
Enjoy a
to run
nap.
and look back behind you is really a lifesaver, and it really works with the many bosses in the game for how much faster and aggressive
little.
they are than the original, along with how much health they can sap away from you with their attacks. Speaking of, in those bosses, I've seen a few people complain that you can't run that fast away from them when they charge after you or combo you, but personally, I disagree. You just have to be a bit more conservative and picky with choosing moments to shoot the boss and run away or around them. If you just don't get greedy and don't
Yeah,
stay too
Mr. X
close to
be
them,
styling
you'll
and
be absolutely
profiling with
fine.
that
I will say
fucking
this,
get up.
though, on the stage 2 Tyrant boss in Leon's campaign, it was 2 a.m. when I did this part of the game, and so while being busy bruising my legs in frustration, it didn't occur to me once to block his charge with the many pieces of debris littering the
Love how the
area.
puppy
So
in the
yeah, if you're
background
on
was
this part
just
a little bit stuck, do that,
concerned
because that move he
and
does is
excited.
practically unavoidable, and he one-hit kills you every time he does it. Also, you have collectibles to find and shoot like in every game from Resi 4 onwards.
Of course.
That's fun. After finishing both campaigns, you even unlock that 4th survivor mode from the original game that lets you play as everyone's favorite bland and forgettable secret agent Hunk, as he needs to escape the entire police station from the
Caddy,
sewers
don't
all
be
the way to
dissing the
front
Hunk.
door using only the weapons, ammo, and items you have
They come
at the
after you for
start of
that.
the mode. And yes, this mode is incredibly difficult, meaning I couldn't finish it for this video, but I do hear they also kept in that extra secret tofu mode that lets you try the exact same mission, but as a giant piece of tofu with a knife. You
Sleep
can't
too
make
much.
this shit
I'm-
up. So I guess for that reason
No
alone, that
fucking
makes this one of
tofu,
the
I
best
swear.
games of 2019.
In this video, I have
No, on the sleeping too much, I get it though. Cause like, I remember one time, I don't know why, I did nothing to warrant it, but I remember, like in a whole day, like a whole 24 hours, I had slept away at least 16 of those hours for no fucking reason. I don't know why. It's just like I'd wake up for a little while, like maybe get something to eat or something, and then for some reason be ready for another nap. And it was I don't know why.
dabbled in and out of what I wasn't too fond of with this game. And another one of those things, actually, now that I come to think of it, is the lack of spiders. Where are the spiders in this game? I mean, I'm not complaining too much.
Where's
I know
the
there's plenty of
spiders?
new enemies to replace them and keep up more with the themes of the story, but still, I think a few spiders in there would have been quite cool. With all that said, though, phew, there you go, everybody. That was the Resident Evil 2 remake, a game that I didn't think really needed to exist, much like the original GameCube remake of Resident Evil 1, but now that I've played it and experienced this brand new, startling interpretation, I'm glad that they did. And that really goes to
You
show
survived,
how good
Caddy,
the
you
original
survived.
Resident Evil remake and the Resident Evil 2 remake are, because both of their original games they're based on, in my opinion, didn't massively need from the ground rebuilt remakes, but they just did it because they could, and they turned out great regardless.
If you couldn't tell by now, I highly recommend this game. If you like Resident Evil, or hell, like horror games in general, please consider picking this one up. It's even got 3 free DLC side stories in the works starting to release from mid-February onwards. Capcom are on a roll with Resident Evil 7 and now this knocking the ball out of the park and proving that classic single-player focused, slow-paced and tense survival horror has a strong audience and would love to see more
His
games
first day
like
on the
this.
job,
Hell,
everybody.
Maybe even a Resident Evil 3 Nemesis remake, or maybe Resident Evil 8, but with all the fixed camera angles and pre-rendered backgrounds. The possibilities are endless. So before I start thinking too much about Mr. X and how he's going to chase me into my nightmares, I'm going to end this video with joy, positivity, optimism. This was great. Resident Evil 2. What more can I say? It's an incident involving zombies.
Oh, Caddy.
Hey there everybody, do you want to see some outtakes from today's video?
What's
Then
up,
stay
Caddy?
tuned until
Give
the
us the
very, very end
outtakes.
of this video. But first of all, thank you so much for watching until the end of my Resident Evil 2
Give us
remake
the
review. This was a lot of
outtakes.
fun to do. And I also have a question for you before the outtakes come on. Can you not get enough horror gaming? That's great, because thanks to the sponsors of today's video, Day3 Go, you can keep up the scares on the go with the new iOS and Android game they're publishing, Alien Blackout. Yes, that
No,
Alien set
Caddy.
between the first and second movies, and it's entirely its own entity. You are a Mandalorian
Caddy.
stuck in the middle of space station air vents and nervously must direct and strategize.
I hope they
every
paid you
movement of
good,
a team
Caddy.
on board the
They'll
ship
be-
to complete missions,
they'll be
all the while
promoting
being
this
hunted
shit.
by the deadly xenomorph, and need
This-
to use limited cameras, distractions with sounds, motion trackers.
They
and
canceled
unquick ways
Alien
to keep as many
Isolation
of the
2
team
for this
alive as you
shit.
can. Be careful though, because if you don't listen, you yourself will be
this
ripped apart in
mobile,
the comfort of your own little
whatever
duck. I know this
fuckery.
game looks a lot like Five Nights at Freddy's, but this is far from it. In my opinion, it's way more
Although I did
stressful and
hear,
satisfying
I
to
think they were
overcome
actually
since there's so
making
many
an
more
Alien
variables to
Isolation
what can
2.
happen, and relies entirely
But
on
I'm
how
not
quick
sure.
you are with positioning.
I don't know if it's
predicting
just
the movements
rumors.
of the alien, power management with a limited amount of defenses to use at a time, and even commanding your team by telling them to sneak, hide, run, or even change directions all under a time limit.
I'm
It's
kinda
difficult
curious
and
how much they
absolutely
made
intense,
from
but a
this
great time
mobile
sink and
slop.
euphoric to get good at. The game is only $5 on the Apple and Android stores and has absolutely no microtransactions microtransactions in it whatsoever. It's just
No
giving you a really
microtransactions?
solid mobile horror
Now I'm
gaming
really curious
experience,
how
and
much
it's
they fucking
perfect
made.
for when you're just about to go to sleep, and before you shut your eyes, you want to have a few more reasons to keep your eyes open. So thank you so much for sponsoring today's video, and thank you to every single person on the screen right now that supported me via Patreon, along with the top tier supporters for this month. Omar Matu, Basil, Carl Hakkinen, Gamerman, I Have a Portal Gun, Exopaz, Matthew
Some of
Hubble,
these
Mills
names.
Kahai, Brandon, Binary Code, Kirsten B, Cyberpunk Symphony, Nicole Gennara, Nathan Young, Victor Patrick Bauer, Robert Alamsha, The Game Shed, Daniel Leon, Braden Kenny,
Alien
Jake
version of
Delahaye
FNAF.
2008, Mitchell Reed, A.D. Thornton Smith, and Maximilian Ely. Thank you so much, every single one of you amazing people.
Resident... Oh.
Great stuff.
Today I'm going to be having a look at the Resident Evil 2 remake on the PC, PS4 and Xbox One. I was playing...
Are you a handsome young man?
He's your
Dan?
puppy. He's your puppy.
Why is his ear talking?
Because that's what dogs do when they... Oh, he's got his ball out. Oh, for God's sake. Stan! I'm trying to film. No, I'm not
Listen.
itching butt.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
abuse.
Resident
Dog
Evil.
abuse right
However,
there.
It's okay
Poor
because
puppy.
2 goes for a better script, rememberer.
It's very sad.
I know you're very sad, but you kind of ruined the continuity now. It's as different as the GameCube remake of the first game was to the original, but in its own unique way. Of course he goes. Now I'm going to do the shot again because he's ruined the continuity again. You bloody animal!
Caddy, let's be real.
So then they did that! Whoops. Now when it comes to the gameplay on offer, well...
Caddy, let's be real now. We all know the puppy is the star of the show. Let's be real. He started. Nice. Nice.
It's 1 PM and he's eating his breakfast.
Isn't that when you're supposed to eat it?
He's had all morning to eat his breakfast and he eats it when I need to everything quiet.
Oh, Caddy. Caddy, you know the pupper is the star. Oh my god. See, I hate this design. YouTube, what is this? This used to be like a whole page of like recommended vids, and now they just narrowed it down to 3. I can't with the redesign. I can't. Oh my god. Okay, next vid. We got Scott the Woz game prices. God. When did this come out? 2 weeks ago? Okay. So it's gonna be talking about recent game prices. Okay.
Hey y'all, Sky
Oh.
here.
What's
This
up,
is
Scat?
money. This is a video game.
Oh my
How much
god,
is a
don't be
video
doing
game
that in this
worth to you?
economy.
Not $60, but I'll let you draw stuff on my face for one. This is 80. Oh god, I need to up the ante, don't I?
We're off to a great start. We're off to a great fucking start.
Okay, I'll let you shoot me too.
Lovely.
The price of video games has always been a hot debate, primarily because these are wants, not needs. That I say, why is my blood type Luigi's Mansion 2 HD? Hey, there's lots of ways to entertain yourself at affordable prices, hell, even free. What makes you so special?
Oh, that.
Well,
I don't know.
funnily
It's
enough,
supposed
once you
to.
grab
I
gaming
have to
history,
fuck
you
around
can
with
see
it.
these prices aren't
Because for
anything
some reason
new.
it doesn't
They're a bargain.
uh,
70 for NBA Hang Time
work
on
half the
Super
time, but I do have
Nintendo.
Discord. The
75
link
for
should be
Mortal
like in
Kombat
my about
Trilogy on
section.
Nintendo 64. 100 for virtual racing on Sega Genesis. The question here isn't.
I don't
are
know
these
why
games
why
worth
it doesn't pop up when
The question is,
you type it in for some reason.
See, there's gotta be a method to the madness. Why video games are priced the way they are. Cause something like this don't just happen on accident. Oh, Butterfingers. I've always seen big boy console games hovering around a $50 to $80 price point. 50
Yeah,
being the same.
it's also the prices are also a lot more heinous when it comes to fucking Nintendo shit, cause they never go on sale below like a 5, maybe 10% sale. Like, it's very rare if you see anything more than that on any of their games, no matter how old, no matter how popular, it's just hideous.
Standard during the 6th generation, 60 during the 7th and 8th, and 70 and 80 during the 9th. Now, there's been some oddball stipulations with these prices. For example, it seems that the move to HD consoles warranted the jump to $60, because while the Xbox 360 and PS3 priced their games as such, the Wii, not being in HD, stuck to $50 games. But
They
then
never
with the jump
reduced
to
the
Wii
base
U,
price. Yeah,
now that we're in
sometimes
HD,
they raise
boom,
the base
$60.
price.
So this is definitively what a AAA video game in HD costs. Write that down.
Righto. That statement will be proven false later.
Now, going from something like PS3 to PS4, game prices stayed the same, even for titles that were cross-generation. The PS3 version of Little Big Planet 3, $59.99. The PS4 version, same price, though it ran at 1080p, had faster load times. They offered this Day 1 edition with DLC included for no extra cost. It
Oh
seems
my
that
god.
oftentimes, the improvements included
Unheard
in the
of in this day and
PS4
age.
versions, they were considered par for the course. Hey, HD video games may cost $60, but you're playing on more modern and expensive hardware. Yeah, the games both cost the same, but it only makes sense for this version to be the better value. However, once we moved from PS4 to PS5, this was where we received another price jump, but seemingly only for exclusive PS5 software. Games that had PS4 versions were
And now nothing's really exclusive these days. And if it is, it's only for a limited time before they, like, port it every fucking where eventually. There's no true exclusive anymore. There's no PlayStation versus Xbox anymore. It's like, as silly and dumb as it might have been back in the day, it also made those companies actually work to impress the customers, you know? These days, they slap $100 on some type of half-finished slop, call it a day, and say you're ungrateful for not buying it.
60 at most, but here we have Demon's Souls.
Yeah, I heard about Halo being on
exclusive launch
PlayStation.
Title at 70. Didn't matter that it was a remake of a PS3 game with barely any content added. The remake is PS5 exclusive, so it's getting PS5 exclusive pricing. So what, HD games are 60, and since the PS5 can more easily do 4K, I guess that warrants 70. But if a PS5 game is also on PS4, it stays at 60. However, Sony switched up their policy. We got a few PS4, PS5 games from them where the PS4 version is 60 and the PS5 one is 70. You can play the PS4 version on your PS5, so that's an easy way to save 10 bones. But think about what you're missing out on by not spending that extra dough.
Oh my god, I'm missing out on getting rid of this thing.
That's why if you have the last generation version, you can purchase its PS5 upgrade for a measly 10 bones. Now, what do you get for that?
Yeah, I know.
Can you see it?
Oh yeah, well the PS4 version over there, look.
Like, I know some charge for the upgrade, but there are some games, a few, where it's like, it's literally just a free upgrade if you already have a game. It's literally just a little free upgrade. But a lot of them will charge you. It's ridiculous.
Huh? It's actually the PS5 version?
I'll just chalk it up to me being insane. I am talking to nobody after all.
Yes, there is a difference, but why do I have to pay for this upgrade when
Relatable.
numerous PS4 games like God of War from 2018 got a PS5 update free of charge? That added the same exact kind of performance bumps that's costing me $10 whole with its sequel. And you know, while the enhancements on PS5 are very welcome and make for a more enjoyable experience with smoother gameplay, a more stable frame rate, it's not like the PS4 version runs poorly, hell, especially if you're playing it on the PS5 through backwards compatibility. I feel like we were getting bigger jumps with the previous consoles, yet we weren't paying extra like we are here. But I guess there's just this golden rule that games from this era of console cannot be $70. Unless you want to around a little bit. So Activision was able to weasel $70
it's a
games
Call of
onto the
Duty.
PS4 by bundling the $10 upgrade to the PS5 version in as a mandatory inclusion. Doesn't matter if you don't own a PS5, you're getting a PS5 game whether you like it or not. So it
Damn.
seems like the only
Damn.
method these companies have to price games above that $60 price
Yeah, when
point
it
on
comes
these
to
last generation consoles is to
consoles
create
now,
bundles. As long as the base package is
like,
at most 60,
we
even
don't
if
really
that
need
base
to up the
package
graphics
isn't
anymore. Let's be
available for
real.
purchase,
Let's
it's all
concentrate on it
good.
and
Just
making
don't
games
even think
playable.
about pricing a standalone
That seems to
game
be the
higher
main
than that
problem.
on these consoles. But Scott, you squeal, what if you stop giving a shit?
Oh, okay. Under those circumstances, sure.
Nintendo Switch games priced at $70. Even when the max game price for the
See
majority
you
of
around.
the console's life was $60, in 2023, I discovered anything is possible. Even bullshit. The Legend of
Even
Zelda Tears
bullshit.
of the Kingdom was priced the exact same as all these big PS5 and Xbox Series X games, even when it was running on hardware most comparable to... give me a second. All right, now, keep in mind, it's not that I don't think Tears of the Kingdom itself isn't worth $70.
We're outside.
Rather,
I saw grass. Oh my god.
Traditional video games seem to be dictated by what hardware was on, not the game itself.
What the fuck?
It's comparable to that.
Was Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart on PS5 truly worth $70 compared to all these games that were
I need to see
$60
what that
just
looks
because
like
they were on a
from
console where that was
another
the standard?
perspective.
Nintendo stated they based the
I'm
prices
wondering
of
if some
their games on
stranger
a
didn't just
case-by-case
walk by and see him
basis.
filming that.
The case here being, can we get away with this? With Tears of the Kingdom, I mean, it made sense.
Clocked in at 16 gigabytes tall, meaning they had to use a mighty expensive 32 gigabyte game card to house it all.
Didn't stop The Witcher 3 from being a flat 60, even though it used a 32 gig card too. But Tears of the Kingdom is a new game, a massive game, one that reuses loads of content and assets from Breath of the Wild, a $60 game designed for a console from 2012 whose hardware is most similar to a console from 2005.
Damn, they should be paying me to buy this.
All right, let's be
Yeah.
Did the enjoyment I
After
got
the
out of this game
GameCube,
justify the
Nintendo
price tag?
took a
I would
hard
undoubtedly say
turn
yes.
from
Fact of the matter is,
improving
this was a
graphics
special
and being the best at
situation.
graphics
you can
to
argue it all you want, but Tears of the Kingdom
everything
could
fucking
probably
else,
be considered
basically.
the peak of what Nintendo Switch was capable of in terms of a game's scope. This was an impressive title, even by the standards of far more powerful consoles. If any Nintendo Switch game deserved to be $70, Mortal Kombat 1. This game didn't even release on PS4 or Xbox One. They probably considered the Nintendo Switch to be a current generation console, and thus its price point reflected that. And nothing else did. I'm confused.
I haven't played
because
any of the
publisher
new
Warner
Mortal
Brothers released
Kombat games.
Hogwarts Legacy, like their biggest release ever on PS5 for $70, and Nintendo Switch
Like I've only
for
played the
$60.
OG on
Why do this with just Mortal Kombat? What is it, because Hogwarts
the
got a
Sleeper
PS4
Nintenders.
version? So, let me get this straight. This is at the same level as that, even when it obviously isn't. But this is where the line is drawn, where the quality is too damn high to continue to suffer, warranting a $60 price point. See, I almost respect this more. Like
Switch
what
2
is there to
edition.
argue? It's just
It's such
fucking
a
stupid.
it's such a
Okay,
fucking
after
con.
all that,
Let's call
take
it what it
everything
is.
we've
It's a
learned and try to
corporate
answer this.
con.
What makes a game $70? Son of a bitch, they're 80 now. With the release of Mario Kart
You
World
blinked
on
and you
Nintendo
missed it.
Switch 2,
The price went up again.
$80 became the standard for cream of the crop gaming. Now I don't think there's any pitter-pattering around these video game price points anymore. Some publishers realized, what's genuinely stopping us from charging whatever we want? You want to charge $80 for your game? Do it. Nintendo's
Yeah,
reason
Xbox
for why
especially
Mario
has
Kart
fucked
is
up lately.
$80? Cause it's worth it. Well, you think they have some math equation to show you explaining themselves?
Alright. That makes sense now. Thank God you understand gibberish.
What we just went through here showcases the game industry's everlasting struggle to warrant higher price points until eventually realizing, who cares? Now, am I enraged at the jump to $80? Will I boycott publishers not sticking to an agreed upon maximum price point? Now, respectfully,
No, see, like
who the
when it comes to like the Xbox situation, because like they fucked up with raising the price on everything, but especially the Game Pass thing, because like I'm not paying that. I'm going to use whatever is left, whatever time I have left on my subscription, because I haven't been paying for it. I've been earning points and then paying for the Game Pass thing through those points, and then they took that away. So now I'm using whatever's left of my points to buy like fucking, oh my god, why am I forgetting words tonight? I can't. Like fucking Xbox gift cards, because I don't want those points to go to waste. So I'm like using whatever's left, putting that toward the Game Pass to, because I got a few games I need to finish playthroughs on. And then if they don't make any changes to that, I'm just gonna ride out however long I've got left on it, and then that's it. My Xbox is gonna get like barely any use, because even though I do have some games on there that I own outright, at least as much as you can own a digital fucking version of games these days. I honestly could literally just switch back to like one of the older Xbox consoles and be fucking fine. Like, it's that bad. Because I have a PC. And even PlayStation 5, it's collecting fucking dust. Because it's just, it's just sad. It's just sad.
Am I to do any of that?
Oh, I saw the GameStop thing. That was fucking hilarious. I love how GameStop is so irrelevant these days. But they'll pop out of the woodwork with something like that and reminding us they're still around. And it's just so funny. Like, GameStop is like, hello, fellow kids.
Mario Kart World and all those internet comment sections as like a cool guy.
Really?
Damn, golden grams are stickier than they were last week.
What, so I bet if I look at all the crap you buy, it'll all check out. Everything will make perfect financial sense. Now,
you do not need that many copies of that movie. Come on now.
Buddy, what is there to defend?
If you're getting a lot of copies of a movie, that's not the one.
They need my help.
I will lick this for them.
Okay, what I'm saying is, let's not judge the people not buying or buying games at these prices. Let's judge the companies setting them. Because judging each and every person for buying something that you personally wouldn't, we'll be here all day.
Fucking bear
I
spray.
personally think the only time you should shit on somebody directly due to whether they're buying this stuff or not is if they're being an ass about it. If they aren't, and they just bought this game because they wanted to play it, or they refuse because they don't agree with the price, well, who the hell are you to tell them how to spend their money? How is any of this productive? They already bought the thing, or they've already told you they don't agree with buying the thing. Why the hell do you care if they buy it or not? Focus on yourself, Bubba. Why are you defending Nintendo so much? That splotch on your arm has been there for weeks. Get off the computer and go to the damn doctor. Listen, just because some games get priced like this doesn't mean this works as the standard moving forward. What, are you really gonna take a risk on an unproven entity when it costs
I always
that
find those
much?
people that
And
are
you
like
can only
hardcore
really charge
defending any type of
$80 or
corpo.
above for a game franchise that's
Kinda
known
weird.
quantity with high demand.
Like, I'm either assuming you're attached to said corpo in some way,
It's more so
or
a
you're
sign of
delusional
belief.
and thinking they
Like,
care about you.
Can do this, so they will do this. For example, Microsoft attempted the move to $80 games with The Outer Worlds 2, citing market conditions and rising development costs, only to go, just kidding, months later. So you acted like this price tag was 100% necessary, and when nobody was buying it, you cited market conditions again and went back to $70 games.
Same game
which,
with
mind
each and
you,
every
many already
generation of
feel is too
console, even
high.
PC.
This just tells me
I
these
understand.
higher price
Okay.
points aren't as necessary.
See, these days I don't get it. Because, let's be honest, physical copies of games are not physical copies of games. They're very rare for a physical copy of a game to literally be on said physical copy, and not basically just an activation for a digital download. But back in the day when physical copies actually were physical copies, I get that. I have like more than a few games for both PlayStation and Xbox for like different, like, let's see what's an example. Oh, this is a good one. The Mass Effect series. Okay, when it came out, I first played it. I first was gifted a copy of it, the first Mass Effect, on Xbox 360. But when the sequel came out, I had to wait to get a physical copy, and let me tell you, I am obsessed with fucking Mass Effect, especially back then. I was obsessed, alright? And I could not handle waiting a whole fucking week, whatever, how long it took to get a physical copy of the second game. I had to buy, this is what I did, on my weekend off from school, I bought a digital version of it on the PC. What I did is, But the problem was I had to play the first one. I bought the first one again and played it again on the PC on a digital version. And then I bought and played the second one, the sequel, that I was so hyped and excited for on the PC. And let me tell you, it was fucking worth it. Okay, it was fucking worth it. All right. But what I did, I bought it on the first one on Xbox, then the first and second one on PC. Then I bought the second one again on Xbox. And then the third one, I think I bought it on a physical copy of it on Xbox first. And then PC, I think. But I think I also found like one of those, the trilogy collection thing where it has like all three in one. It's like a collector trilogy thing. I bought that for the PlayStation 3. Just to have it, because I just fucking love it. I just fucking loved Mass Effect. Like, I was obsessed. Like, but that's when physical copies meant something. These days, they're literally just cheap plastic with digital downloads. Like, okay, I've ranted long enough about this, sorry.
As these companies would like you to believe. But I think what's most annoying is on top of all these price increases, many of these games are more monetized than ever before.
I hate these fucking menus. The modern menus of games, ugly as fuck.
Anything but paying the actual developers of these games more.
Ugly.
All being printed on a physical video game that don't include a damn thing on the disc.
Modern gaming.
See? See?
Yeah, prices keep going up, and oftentimes there's no particular reason for that happening other than the desire to make more money. Which we can't blame them for that. Everybody wants to make more money. How else would I be able to do what I love
Also
most?
with the menu
And of
thing,
course, the economy.
sorry, I keep pausing right here. But the menu thing, if you, like, just comparing the menus, like, you could go to the Call of Duty series, or even Battlefield, because they've been around for fucking ever. You can compare the modern menus they have of the games that came out recently to their very first ones, all the way back in the day, to the main menus. And it's so different. It's so nauseatingly different. Like, their older menus don't make your eyes bleed. It's so fucking... It's a stark difference. It's so fucking ridiculous.
Oh, that son of a bitch, he ruins everything. My dad lost his job, my aunt's house has been foreclosed.
Yeah, didn't the Switch 2, peeps, didn't Nintendo say for the Switch 2?
And Mario Kart World is $80? It's just...
Didn't they have to put on a lot of the key cards are digital basically only?
Games, man. Not leaving the sink on at Target. Cashier sold me this game for $80. This'll teach him. Yes, games have always been expensive, but they've never been this bad. Right? Well, I don't see what the problem is. I did get more for that absurd price. Plastic garbage and shit in my pants.
Okay, but the thing is, that price tag you saw is like, what, $250 for whatever the fucking Beatles was thing? I don't know. In today's money, that would like set you back like $500 at the very least. Cause see, it's not just like base game price ridiculousness. It's also like collector's special edition bullshittery. Like, they are upcharging everything, raising the prices on fucking everything, but giving you the same thing or less. That's it.
It's been an excellent excuse to charge more. Oh, what? This isn't worth it? How about now? Let's take a look at the Guitar Hero and Rock Band era, when these games were taking over the world. Sure, the first few releases were more expensive than your average standalone video game at $70 on the PlayStation 2, but this was such a unique, innovative thing at the time that you could definitely understand it. Now fast forward a few years and we have Guitar Hero World Tour with just the guitar controller at $100. Now, let's keep in mind, this guitar is completely wireless. So, I think a higher price point is fair enough. Plus, Xbox 360 and
I
PS3
hate that.
games were normally $60, including this one.
That should
as
be
it was
illegal to
available
sell
standalone
an
if you already
edition
had
of a game
compatible
without
guitar
the game.
controller. However,
That
the
should be
idea of a
illegal.
Guitar Hero game
Because it's
without
like false
any
fucking
controller
advertising.
included, being valued at the same price as every other AAA release is absurd. Sure, you can play Guitar Hero with a regular.
Because usually they'll say it's without the game in like the tiniest little font that you have to like have a magnifying glance, to see. It's so fucking ridiculous.
The guitar bundle was still $100, and on Wii, the guitar was fully powered by your Wii remote. Now listen, I'm not gonna try and act like I know how this stuff works. I am gonna try and act like I know how to bitch about it. Shouldn't this be cheaper to produce if the Wii remote's doing all the heavy lifting here? I mean, the Xbox 360 guitar.
Yeah,
has
when
to
it comes to
function on
pre-ordering
its own.
things
This
these
is
days,
siphoning all the wireless capabilities and power from the controller.
like I used to get excited for pre-ordering certain games, especially if it was part of a series or something that I already liked.
With the microphone and drum set at $190.
But
I mean, it nearly double the price
these
of the
days,
guitar kit.
no.
I can't in good conscience do this.
I'm not even paying full price anymore.
But at the same time, the drums are much
It's
bigger,
very
more
rare for me to pay a full
complicated.
price.
Sure, I don't think this is a good deal, but I mean, look how huge this box is. Can't say the price.
Midnight
shocks
releases?
me. However, 1 year later, here's Band
Those
Hero
used to
with
be
all
fucking
the same junk
parties.
included,
They used to be a fucking
200.
time.
Oh, but see those bastards across the street at Rock Band. They
Especially
got us
when we were
covered.
teenagers.
The Beatles Rock Band.
It felt like we were
Value
doing something like
edition.
illegal.
$160 for everything. They're just using the controllers from Rock Band 1 instead of the special Beatles ones, which cost money. Well, that's nice of them, offering a more affordable version that's functionally the exact same as the one costing an arm and a leg. Damn, that's what arms and legs are going for these days. But at this point in time, you could nab the full Rock Band 2 bundle for 100 bones. Then pick up Beatles Rock Band separately for 60, so you'd get everything the Value Edition gives you, plus Rock Band 2 for the same price. Hell, if you'd want to go even cheaper,
Damn.
the Wii version
Math.
of Beatles Rock Band was priced the same as any
People
other Wii
doing
game.
math. The
Why was this
downfall
game
of all
$60
corpos.
on Wii? I thought standalone Wii games with no extra garbage included were $50 at most. No exceptions. I guess anything goes when
I
you're pumping
played,
out a dozen variants of the same goddamn game in 1 year.
A little bit of Guitar
Accessory
Hero,
games,
the first
man,
one I
acting
think.
like
I
they
don't
can do
know.
whatever they want.
I think I
And
still
that
have the
might be true
guitar
for a
somewhere.
bit, especially when they're bringing a fresh,
I
exciting idea
think I
to the
have the game
table.
and the
But over
guitar
time,
somewhere. I don't know if it
fatigue
works.
sets in. These concepts are no longer as novel as they once were.
But
When prices rise
it was
like
pretty
this,
fun at the
it becomes
time,
harder
but
to justify, especially when numerous
after
companies
playing
were
a lot
passing
of,
out deals back
I would
then.
say
So
probably
many controller
a couple of
bundles,
days,
accessories included at no
I
additional
moved on real
cost.
quick.
It's like you were being rewarded for buying into this crap. My grandfather got a Purple Heart. I got the Wii Play Wii Remote bundle for $50. Oh my god, and all the great prices for digital software at the time. Look at this. 6 to 10 bones for PlayStation 1 games on the PS3 store. What a steal! Some of the greatest games of all time, dense with hundreds of hours of content in some cases. Same goes for all the Stone Cold
Yeah, the only
classics
way-
on the Wii Shop channel.
The only way getting a lot of those old games for those prices on the new consoles was actually a good buy is because, again, getting physical copies of a lot of the older games, a lot of them are fucking expensive because either they're rare, they're popular, or something. I don't know. But it's like, those were considered good prices at the time. Now, we're getting charged for everything. We're getting charged just to be charged.
I mean, NES games were all only $5 a pop.
Oh my god, ow, my ears! Ah!
Put a
The
dollar
fuck?
amount on me, please. I gotta know if I'm better than this.
Hey, I appreciate that Nintendo was consistent with prices. Might have been a little too consistent. Well, actually, some games
You know me,
were
you're
more
forever
expensive.
quest
if they were
on
never released in
getting
your country.
all the
There's
.hack
an
games.
import tax on a digital file? If anything, they should charge less. They don't even translate anything. Okay, well, what about old games over on the Xbox 360's digital store? Well, Microsoft ran a service called Game Room, a virtual arcade.
Yeah,
where you could
unfortunately,
buy
these
tons of
days,
classic games for $3 a pop. Man, that's the cheapest yet.
it's harder
Check
to
this
find
out.
people
I
who
paid
don't
$3 for
realize the
Activision's
value of what they
legendary
have these days.
Venetian blinds.
Like, I remember going to, like, yard sales and flea markets and stuff,
Put a dollar amount on me, please.
selling games for, like,
Must have been a tricky thing to figure
practically
out. I mean,
nothing.
What do you price digital
And
content at?
anywhere
Those
else, it
earlier,
would be like
smaller,
$100 or
digital-only
something like that.
titles and
Something
classic
crazy.
games were the only things really on offer, and generally,
I need
these
to,
would be $5 to
if I could time travel back in time, I'd go tell myself,
whatever the
spend
hell
your allowance
Microsoft
on this
points
shit.
are.
It's
And
gonna
I don't
be
know why this is
expensive
done
later.
on Xbox 360, Wii, Nintendo DSi, using a point system in place of actual currency. Could I launder with this? At least Nintendo's USD to Wii point conversion made sense. Microsoft points? Is this math even English? But Microsoft deserves some credit because they pushed the boundaries of digital storefronts and began offering full retail Xbox 360 games as downloadable releases. Games on demand. What an incredible idea, especially since you no longer have to manufacture a physical product, ship it off to retailers who then get a cut of the profit. Well, I'd assume the price point here should be the exact goddamn same, if not more expensive than buying these games at GameStop. Well, aren't I not disappointed? This initiated the age-old question. Shouldn't digital games be cheaper? I mean, sure, these days you see a ton of
That's what I said. That's what I've said from the fucking beginning. That's actually what I said from the very beginning. Before all this bullcrap, like before digital was even mainstreaming it, like I found it so fucking weird. Especially if the game's already been out for a while. For a digital copy of a game to have the exact same price of a physical copy. Because you're paying the same price for less. Like, teenage me already had that shit figured out and thought it was suspicious as fuck. Before all this bullshit. And now, it's just so mainstream no one even fucking thinks about it anymore.
Just flat out MSRP. And this was even worse back in the day. Sales weren't as common, and the 360 games available on demand were usually older releases that you could pick up for dirt cheap physically, but on the digital store, they were like $30. I remember PlayStation Vita games were generally quite a bit less expensive digitally, but for the most part, that was an anomaly. It seems that most don't want to lessen the value of their game just because it's digital. I mean, to these companies, there's functionally no difference between these two products other than this one costs you more to produce, so theoretically, you could raise the price of this, but then the retailers you're selling it at are gonna be pissed you're driving customers away from them, and you can't just tell them to go themselves because where the hell else are you gonna buy your game console? And if the standard with digital games was for them to be, say, $10 cheaper, well then that is the actual value of your product right there. And that looks fucking nasty. You ever see when new games are priced lower than usual? The response generally isn't, oh boy, what a deal. It's, wait, what's wrong with it? Sega priced all major Sonic releases for a few years there at $39.99, starting with Sonic Forces.
Now, you cannot possibly sell genuine dog shit for $60. Especially when the market value is $40.
Sega did this due to the Sonic franchise being a bit down in the dumps at the time. So how else do you get people back in your corner? Well, sell them mediocre products priced accordingly. Well, as long as it's not charging me $60,
We need to play
you can do whatever you
Sonic
want to me,
Crossworlds,
Sega.
though.
Eventually,
You
with
know
the
me?
release of Sonic
Do
Frontiers,
some
they
co-op.
swapped things over to $60 to showcase how Sonic games were high quality.
Speaking of
AAA
Sega, I've seen a lot of people compare Xbox now, like pulling a Sega, because Sega, for you youngsters out there that didn't realize, Sega once upon a time had their own console. They made consoles, but they were not making any money. So what they did was they made a hard turn towards, instead of making their own exclusive consoles, they made their own exclusive games. They concentrated wholly on that. And that's the reason Sega is still around. And a lot of people are comparing Xbox to them, which is sad, because even though Xbox and Microsoft are saying they are possibly still making consoles, no one really sees that as viable with all the decisions they're fucking making lately.
Experiences worthy of the investment. And Sonic Superstars released a year later and was 5 hours long.
Could have been worse.
And I don't think it's fair all the time to judge a game's price by how long it takes to complete the main story. Like, there's so much else you need to consider here. The economy? That piece of shit. He's making my Sonic games suck. I mean,
Goddamn economy.
when everything was more affordable. You got Sonic and Knuckles on the Sega Genesis.
Get that
$50. Okay, but hey, Sonic and Knuckles is a special cartridge. One that locks onto Sonic 3, which released earlier that same year for $60. Yeah, these games separately are each one half of the intended Sonic the Hedgehog 3 experience. Sonic 3 on its own had like half the levels that Sonic 2 did because they were forced to put the game out early and finish it later. Yet these
No.
the levels that Sonic 2 did because they were forced.
Do you see that price? For that fucking Happy Meal? I want you to take a good long look at it. Look at it. Look at it! You know how much that probably cost today? At minimum, $10. That's without taxes. I can't live in this fucking economy. I can't.
Forced to put the game out early and finish it later. Yet these were still each sold at full price. Well, actually, full price back in the 90s would be, what, $70? $80?
I think it was McDonald's.
$100? Argument here is, well, these were cartridges. They had to manufacture more with them, oftentimes including dedicated chips.
Pretty sure
to
it said
bring you
Happy
more
Meal.
Innovative graphical effects, larger, longer experiences. Once they moved over to CDs, those were cheaper to mass produce, so these cartridges had actual excuses to be so expensive. I mean, look at Mickey Mania on SNES and Genesis compared to Sega CD.
Where were you at the boycott?
To be fair, on average, games on CDs were less expensive than cartridges, but the difference in price isn't that drastic. We're talking $5 to $10 off, or hell, sometimes there's no price difference. But hey, if cartridges cost this much, I'd take any discount I could get. Now, keep in mind, games like Phantasy Star 4, Shining Force 2, Final Fantasy 3, these were some of the biggest gaming experiences at the time of their release. You couldn't really get a Meteor package in 1994 if you tried, so higher price points make sense. But
There's also a difference in what people were making back then. Because, like, I remember my folks, my family's never been rich. We've always been poor or low on the totem pole of middle class. Like, I don't think we've ever qualified for middle class, but I think we got close a couple of times. But my parents were able to afford to buy me many a console for many a birthday or Christmas, and a not small collection of video games, because they were getting paid more back then than what they would now for the same jobs. Like, they were getting paid good money, and they didn't have some fancy career. They were working like factory jobs and stuff. But they were making good enough money for our poor selves, for them to be spending money on consoles and games with these fucking prices. Not every day, of course, but like for birthdays and Christmas, like I said, because they got paid more. Now you get paid less and pay even more. That just seems to be the corpo way now.
highest price points make sense.
People were making more money back then.
Inflation. Listen, I'm not gonna act like I understand much economically, but I can do a mean Googling of inflation. Inflation is a funny little bugger because many use it to instantly prove, well, actually, as you can see, we're getting bargains these days. They were selling games for $200 in today's cash. Yeah, that's true, but Man, $70 is still an awful lot of money for a piece of entertainment these days. Just because this was the value of $1 back then, doesn't mean it entirely makes sense for games to be that price now. They were figuring junk out in the 90s. Video games were still a fairly new technology, and eventually, this general price point was considered the standard, what people are willing to pay. Increasing it raises questions. It's the same thing for all these other entertainment mediums. The Back to the Future trilogy on VHS was $56 back in '93. That's $125 these days. What, you think 3 movies on Blu-ray is worth that much? My point is, nobody would genuinely look
see,
at
it's
a
like I
$2 game
said,
and say,
people were
"Oh, the
making a
value
lot
of
more money
$1 is
back then
ever-changing, so this is the natural price point of a video game in the current year." I can't claim to fully understand how much
like,
was too much back in the 90s, but I can
if
claim to have heard a bunch of 40-year-olds
people were
yap about it.
making
Seems
what
that
they
while
should be these
everybody
days,
knew games were piss expensive back then.
Why is this expensive?
these prices that they're raising them to
everything felt a bit more
wouldn't be
justified.
that big of a deal.
I mean, even if they were overcharging for Phantasy Star 4,
Like,
you can bring up
it
a
really
bunch
wouldn't.
of reasons why it was so expensive. Mario Galaxy 1+2 on Switch being $70,
But when a cost of one game is like a day or two of
those experiences at that price. And as time goes on, we're seeing less and less actual deals because these companies don't have as much to prove anymore. Video games are now the leading form of entertainment. This is where people spend most of their money to have a good time. So an extra controller, that used to be something you had to be convinced to buy via bundles. Now, they're like, we know you're gonna buy this eventually. We don't need to give you nothing. Boom! $90.
God damn. The fucking controllers are
choice
just...
releases of some of the best games at reduced prices.
And that's just regular
$20
controllers,
a
but
pop.
the special ones or whatever?
Undervalue
Fucking
their franchises.
ridiculous.
They don't want to put their games on sale unless they absolutely have to, because everybody wants their content to be seen as the best of the best. Cheap is seen as bad. Oh, Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered is getting released at $50? Well, now we gotta take the $20 PS4 version on digital stores and double it to $40 because we need to maintain consistent brand value. And listen, I can't believe I'm mourning the lack of player's choice. I don't like the man I've become, and that's what money does to you. But as piss ugly as this is...
Why is this ugly?
You can definitely suck it up when you see the price. 20 bones for some of the best games on their respective platforms. Absolutely incredible. But I guess games at that low price just aren't possible these days. So these guys are just assholes then.
Listen, video games...
No, especially fucking, what was it, Hollow Knight, Silk Song or whatever? The new one that came out recently, and they came out at the same price as the first one, I think, which is like $20 or something. And people are out here, like, so in love with these fucking devs in the game. They're like, raise the price, it's okay. And the devs double down like, no. So people are out here buying multiple copies of the same fucking game just to support them. A corpo could never. A corpo trying to think of that, like, the big AAA, quadruple A, whatever the fuck A they have these days. They, like, I remember a few devs and a few corpo suits were having a fucking meltdown online when that game came out. They were having a fucking meltdown. They were throwing temper tantrums left and right. It was hilarious.
Have always been some of the pricier forms of entertainment, and we can find an endless supply of stupid-ass price points throughout history to point at and go, see? Things have always sucked! But I think a big difference between rising prices then and now is how enough never feels like enough anymore. Prices of games aren't just high, now we're begging you to pay for the DLC! Microtransactions! A subscription to play online multiplayer! Subscriptions for the game itself! Subscriptions in the game itself! The deluxe edition! The special edition
I hate this timeline.
I
hate it.
One and doesn't include the game. Extra accessories! The previous game of the series, which is still full price. The collector's edition, which doesn't include a physical copy of the game.
I hate it.
Comes with a case for it, though.
I hate it.
Oh, wait, you're not buying into all this? Oh,
And they put it in the tiniest font. It doesn't have a game.
Of ours. Very rarely do I see something I consider a good deal these days. Something's either at a price point I deem fair enough, or it's absolutely overpriced. Now, I still buy a lot of stuff I think is overpriced because I have no shame. But while I'm willing to do that sometimes, it becomes harder and harder to justify, as the value just isn't there with a lot of these high prices. Back then, when a game was up there in price, there was more often than not an excuse for it. Now, their excuse is that they want more money. And that just doesn't bode well for this parasocial relationship I've been working my ass off on. Well, as much as I can complain about how expensive modern gaming has become, let's take one last look at gaming prices throughout the years, as
oh my god,
everybody mourns differently. Games for the Neo Geo
immediately
AES
just had
were generally $199
little moist there.
a piece. Same price as a Super Nintendo. Here's the thing. These games were considered arcade perfect, which was everything you could possibly ask for back then. The arcade was where you saw the latest and greatest in graphics. Then you'd go, well, damn, I gotta get this for my home console.
It's so funny looking at these old games. It's so funny.
Neo, by comparison, gave you the same experience as the arcades, and thus was
Get
considered
whiplash with how
a
different it is.
luxury product. This wasn't really seriously competing with Nintendo and Sega because it was for a completely different market. Serious players only. You gotta be a die-hard enthusiast to get anything out of these games at this price, because for most consumers, you can pick up the Super Nintendo or Genesis versions of these things at a fraction the cost that, while downgraded, were more or less pretty faithful ports. Also, the Neo Geo AES itself was priced like this.
Hi,
God
it's 1991. I can afford a Neo Geo AES and Neo Geo AES games. My name is Jesus Christ.
But hey, even if you didn't have a Neo Geo, you still had opportunities to buy games at the price points of full-blown consoles, like Virtual Racing on the Sega Genesis, costing $100. I mean, look at the original arcade game, released back in 1992. It would take a satanic ritual to get this to run on a Genesis. Welcome to hell. Okay, well, Virtual Racing definitely couldn't run on this hardware without some finagling. Yeah, that's what was done here. Hence, why this cartridge is probably more complex than a microwave. But that complexity came at a steep price for a game you could get on more powerful platforms at such a lower price. Strange how things have sort of swapped around, where a game on lesser hardware is generally not as expensive, but
Crossworlds!
How many men had to die to get this on a Genesis cartridge?
Yomi, I don't know if you're still here, but thank you again for getting that for me.
Now. Not everything is as difficult
It's so
simple
fun.
as it was back
Sonic
in the 90s.
Crosswords is so
like
fun.
adding new content and tweaks to an existing package. Nowadays, you can push out a free update or not. But back then, well, we already see what they did with Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles. But take a look at the whole suite of Street Fighter 2 releases. Nearly $80 for the initial SNES port. A year later, you get Street Fighter 2 Turbo for $74. Oh boy, a discount. A month later, Special Champion Edition on Genesis, also for $74, followed by Super Street Fighter 2 that next summer for $70. And guess what? Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo was already out in the arcades by the time these ports released. And for the home version of that, you'd have to pick up a Panasonic 3DO.
The 3DO!
What the that's a number? Now, to be fair, a lot of these crazy prices back then were definitely special cases. New games often hovered around $50 to $60 ever since the NES era, and as the years have gone by, with lower cost discs becoming the standard medium for video games, this variable pricing began to fade away, which made it that much harder for gamers to accept it later on. Resident Evil Revelations was originally announced to retail for $49.99 on the Nintendo 3DS, and the standard price of games there was $39.99. So
that's why this mob's been outside for the past 14 years.
You read comments on the message board.
I had no idea.
People were livid, saying Capcom completely
the
on this one right here.
Yeah, I did not know about that, because the Revelations games, like, I just don't know a lot about them, like the main games. There just wasn't a lot of people into the Revelation series for some reason. Although these days you couldn't tell, because it seems to be making a comeback all of a sudden. The first one and the second one.
matter that $50 was still less than most home console games were going for. Didn't
Welcome
matter
back,
that they had to
Yomi.
use a 4GB cartridge for the game,
You
which
made-
raised costs.
you made
Didn't
some
matter
chai,
that
you
this
didn't
was a
make me any?
full-fledged AAA Resident Evil game and the
What's wrong with
most
you?
graphically impressive
Rude.
thing on the 3DS. The fact of the matter is, it's $50, and handheld games can't be $50. Listen, in my opinion, this was a situation where the higher price, to me, felt justified. I'm not saying anybody should have been thrilled to buy it, but considering everything this game was, I personally thought, fair enough to this. But see, Capcom took the complaints to heart and spent months working out a deal
I actually
to bring
don't
the
know
price
what tea
down
I have left right
$10
now.
before its launch. And people still bitched. My God, you look at how people were talking back then, and it's like the same thing these days. But this at least seems reasonable compared to this. But what? It's just.
God, we really did not know how good we had it back in the day,
10
huh?
years and go, oh, we had it so good. We bitch about prices being high compared to what they were, which we're still bitched about. But when there are loads of people willing to pay $100 to get 4 days early access to Forza Horizon 5 on PS5, I guess you can just price your games at whatever the
I hate the early access bullshit. I feel like the only reason early access really took off was a combination of people wanting to progress earlier in like multiplayer of whatever the game was, but also early access for people who make content. Streamers, YouTubers, whatever. People who make content online with video games will pay for early access if they weren't, you know, gifted a code or given a code for promotions of some kind or sponsored in some way. They would pay that price to make content. And it's not just like the really famous streamers and YouTubers. It's like everybody and their fucking grandma who wants to make it on here think if they spend like hundreds of dollars for early access in a game, them playing it early before the pores somehow will make them famous. That's the two main reasons I think early access, paying for early access, became a thing at all. Like, as soon as they saw how many people were willing to do it, it just became normalized, and I fucking hate it. I honestly do.
early access? The game is 4 years old!
The prices that most video games are at isn't necessarily a representation of their actual value. It's the highest price point they think they can get away with. But even though these companies set the prices, it's up to you at the end of the day to decide.
Like, you
if
were
they're
already
worth it or
taking a
not.
risk
You can't
pre-ordering
control
it
what other people buy or if
to
they
play it
think
at,
the
like,
price
I
is
don't
worth
know,
it or not.
fucking midnight or whatever.
But who the hell cares? Your opinion is worth its weight in gold. That's the only thing that matters.
Especially for
here.
multiplayer
You thought
games.
Resident Evil Revelations was a sham at $50.
It's very rare for a
disagree, but I
multiplayer
can't
game
say you're wrong.
on the
You
first
decide if this game
couple
is
of
worth its
days
price point,
for
not the company.
servers not to be fucking up in some way.
You can decide if it's free or not depending on how far you're willing to go.
Yeah, early access really is just a last minute beta test. Let's be real. Because how many games these days for real don't have like some type of day one, week one patch or whatever? Like, let's be fucking for real. It's ridiculous. My God, I hate the YouTube look now. I hate this. Change it. Stop. Just give us one of the OG looks or something. Or give me the option. Please. It's so ugly. I hate it. Ugh. Alright. Moving on. Moving on. Before I start ranting again. Okay. It's been a minute since we watched a MandaloreGaming vid, but I saw this one pop up. I was like, I gotta watch it. We gotta watch it. The Callisto Protocol final transmission review. You guys, you guys, when I tried playing this fucking game, it was so bad. Like, I wanted to be hyped for it. I wanted it to be good. But it just wasn't. So it was. I mean, the memes were entertaining, but that was about it. Chicken wing ad for super overpriced, super bad testing wing plays. Oh, okay. What kind of ads are showing up on my fucking live? What? I wish I could choose what kind of ads I could be, that would show up on my live. At least, God, if I had any type of power over the fucking ads. Yeah.
Come on, man. I already have this.
That's what I'm saying. These fucking main menus, these fucking season pass, DLC, extra content bullshit, trying to sell you as soon as you boot up the game. It's so fucking ridiculous. I hate it. I hate it. Main menus used to be worth something to look at. You didn't get fucking ads before you got to the fucking game.
Remember the Callisto Protocol? I remember
Get that
the Callisto
lunchable
Protocol.
lead.
Let's remember it together. To be fair, since my last video, there have been quite a few developments on it. There have been multiple patches, the DLC season pass is done, there's now an entire spin-off game, and it's unclear if there will be a sequel, so this could be the end of the line for the main game. Considering all that happened,
yeah, you
with
get
it,
ads.
It's not a huge surprise things turned out this way.
You get ads before you even get to the main menu, and then the main menu itself is designed in some way to have like ads, basically. They don't want to call them that, but that's what it is. And I heard recently that a lot of corpos want to put ads in the game. Like, I think Xbox maybe mentioned something about having ads. Literally, like watching a YouTube video, an ad will just pop up mid-watch, but you'll be playing a game. You'll be in some intense moment, ad. And then you get back to the game and you're probably fucking dead or something. I don't know. Like, that's what they want to do. That's what they're aiming for. They're not even hiding it anymore.
Short refresher, the game is insanely visually detailed, but expensive, and visually, it didn't have a lot that stuck out as truly unique.
I think
It mainly
EA
seemed to
already
draw
did
from
in,
Dead
like,
Space, or Dead Space's cutting room floor,
one
which
of
is
their
extremely
basketball games, I
awkward when
think.
a remake of that game is coming out a few weeks later. That one was authentic enough
I remember
that it still
seeing
has
something about
unfixed
it.
performance issues, just like the original. The story felt empty and ironically
I don't know if it was,
chopped
like,
up,
during
and even
gameplay
as a
or it was just-
non-lore expert, it was pretty clear the PUBG connection was severed late in development, being replaced
I don't
with
know.
lots of nothing.
I don't really
or
play the
things left
sports games,
unexplained.
so I wouldn't
There's
know.
actually a video by
I just
PUBG
remember
heads
seeing
called
something
the
about
Callisto
it.
Conspiracy, showing just how much is still in the game. So that wasn't helping its chances. Most importantly, the gameplay didn't gel together. It looked awkward to fight groups of enemies in it, so it was changed to Assassin's Creed Take a Number style of gameplay, and it ended up feeling like a weird monster brawler hybrid. If you turned up the difficulty, that meant less ammo for weapons and credits, while your enemy HP
Yeah, when I
bars
tried to play this
skyrocketed
game, the
up, making
movement
you feel
felt
like a
really
space
fucking
lumberjack
weird.
most of the game. Its problems were obvious and ran into its core, but there were some interesting threads left that could be better in a sequel or a spin-off game. But then came the
Ew.
final transmission, also the final chapter of the Callisto Protocol. And they mean that too. It takes place right after the final cutscene. This is something I haven't
damn.
seen in quite a while. The true ending is DLC. And I don't mean the story continues with an expansion like Dragon Age, and I wouldn't even put it on the same tier as something like Fallout 3. That was made to address criticism, but that was not a planned extension, and it shows. No, we're closer to the Asura's Wrath slums. It wasn't something done or nearly done and cut out for later. It's a planned ending that may have been tweaked based on the game's performance. You might remember just how much this game was drawing from Dead Space 3, and it created conditions so similar, we're doing the Awakened DLC again. And I wanted to leave it at that, but running back through
Dead
Awakened
Space
just to
3.
get some
You told
extra
me that was
clicks,
an adventure.
The similarities that these two have make me feel insane.
Just getting the game
You know,
to work
It's a fun idea to have a Dead Space
so we
spiritual
could co-op that
successor and
game
have the protagonist named
was a
Jacob, one of the
hassle and a
biblical
half.
Isaac's two sons. But if this spin-off game has an Esau, I haven't found him yet, and I'm sure there are some forces that wish Isaac took the traditional approach. Plus, Redacted is based off of Hades and not Binding of Isaac. Missed opportunity.
A game of all
Also,
time.
There won't be
It
any
was a
kind of
game.
spoiler section for this, since it's the last
Yeah.
chapter of the Callisto Protocol.
Yeah.
It's the end, so you should have played the game or watched the movie. Anyways, since we're already doing this, I figured I'd go over the DLC that came out in the meanwhile. You may notice a pattern, but there is a shakeup. What? The Outer Way skin
What just
collection.
happened?
It's this skin. It's $5. Next, we have the Contagion bundle, which is this skin. However, it also includes Contagion mode, which is basically hardcore with permadeath.
Wait, are we
What's
just not
interesting
going to
is the
explain
Outer
what
Way
just
skin
happened?
came
We're
with
just going
New
to skip
Game
right over
Plus
it,
and
or
hardcore mode for free, which
Okay.
makes me wonder if someone wanted these paywalled off until they were told it was an extremely bad idea. It also throws in new kill and death animations for Jacob, which the next DLC, the Riot bundle, includes as well. Of course, there's another new skin, and then Riot mode, which is... Wait.
God damn.
Holy shit. It's fun. I'm having fun.
The shock. The sheer shock.
Resuming search. Network signal.
Oh, damn.
This might be the best thing the game has to offer, to the point where it's kind of shocking just how well it works. See, when the main game was a resource-starved, linear horror experience, besides some exceptions that mainly felt dull, so fuck it, let's just make...
Yeah, see, I really was hyped for this game. Like, I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted it to be a good horror game. But I honestly had no desire to play it again. Like, I tried. It was just, it felt off. It didn't really vibe. I don't know how to describe it really well. But hopefully the devs that worked on this, like, I don't know if they're making anything else, but hopefully they do get another chance to make a stab at a horror game or something and like learn from it, cuz it had so much potential. It looked so good when it first like had like trailers and shit. It looked like it, like I was hyped for it.
that the mode. It's very similar to something like COD Zombies, choosing upgrades, unlocking new weapons and items in a run, and holding out against multiple waves. Unlike the main game, you're attacked by groups way more often and kept under pressure. The reason this could even happen is, due to the arcadey nature, you have way more ammo and supplies to work with. Plus, there's actual strategy in deciding where to take fights, like some areas have traps but spawn monsters, others might have useful supplies you can go and buy. There are occasional side objectives with different rewards for achieving
Oh,
them,
God.
and a rampage mode giving you unlimited
Oh,
ammo,
Jesus.
instant melee kills, and unlimited force power. So there is some decision making.
The way if I turned around and saw that, I would just literally just give
What's
up.
even
I'd be
funnier
like,
is that all
fuck
those
it.
kill and death animations the other DLCs add, you're more likely to see in this mode. Because combat is so constant, you have a good chance of seeing something new in a way that feels natural. It's almost as if the combat team itself was frustrated at the pacing of the main game's fights, since like most survival horror games, it's built around conserving resources, but the game is also built around melee. On top of that, when you
We
did
do.
have ammo,
What's that
the
one
game
we need to
encouraged you
co-op?
use it as a combo finisher. Just blasting an approaching enemy with a gun is fun, but you know it's a waste of resources compared to softening
one
them up
zombie
first with your
game.
police pool noodle. And I don't need to go into detail again on just how stingy the in-game economy was, but post-video they patched it to
Dead
be better,
Island, yeah.
but it's still rough. Because if they gave too much, you'd be
We need to play
ridiculously
that sometime
overpowered for the
soon.
amount of enemies they have. But it turns out
Need
when
to
you
co-op
say,
that
okay,
shit.
tons of ammo, tons of enemies,
The
moving
bad but also
hazards,
fun zombie
strategic
game.
level design requiring moving between rooms, a frantic pace that leans into the brutality of the combat, and some more pushes for replayability. Now, so much that didn't work before does. And don't get me wrong, core problems are still there, like how the camera works and how the game handles multiple enemies in general. But Riot Mode is a big improvement. It's just unfortunate that it doesn't have strong legs. There's only a single map, the side objectives you get are limited, and as the waves go on it doesn't scale very well or have good new surprises. It is fun, but not the kind of thing you want to replay over and over again. But when you do play this, something like Redacted existing makes a lot more sense. Okay, so that's it for the Riot Bundle and the other paid DLC, which, I could have sworn these looked different before. I might be misremembering. I can't even say the word misremember today, so I must be wrong. Let's move on to the final transmission. Previously, on the Callisto Protocol.
Jacob, there might be a way out after all.
Yeah, I can't even remember the fucking storyline of this game. Like...
Where the fuck am I?
The way if that was actually the cutscene in the game,
No
10
time
out
for
of 10.
questions. We're still in Black Iron Prison, and I've got a feeling that before the day is done, we're gonna Callisto the fuck out of it. We are starting with an action set piece, so there's no telling what hazards could be on the way.
Like, I vaguely remember, like, the beginning and some snippets of the storyline.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Why can't I remember how I
But the whole thing, nothing. Like,
Dissociative amnesia.
oh, we got amnesia. Amnesia up in this bitch. Do you have a machine for pigs as well?
Another amnesia already. Oh well. Dr. Mahler wasn't lying, and she may have found a way out. You may remember her as the lady who explained the biophage in Subject Zero, but if you don't, you might not have dissociative amnesia. There just wasn't that much more to it. Well, now she's leading us through an escape
I don't want to
plan,
kink
and you can
shame or
find her
anything,
audio
but
logs
I
telling
think
us
it's a
more
little
about the biophage and
much.
everything else going on here. And yes, that is a moving audio log. Also after the video, they patched the game to make it so you can actually use those when walking around. It should have always been this way, but honestly, good on them for changing that. Also, you may have noticed my immediate slow-mo. I was actually wrong in my video, and this is perfect dodging, but you might understand why I didn't get it or why I couldn't repeat it. To perfect dodging Callisto Protocol, you don't hit dodge right before their attack hits you like you would in most other games. Instead, you're supposed to hit dodge at the very beginning of their attack. So why would they make that different? I don't know. The DLC backtracks us through some of the main game's
Yeah, the
locations.
dodging thing,
Some we already
I just
backtracked
hated
once
it.
before in the third act.
It was
and This is our
annoying.
third time through them. They're just even more apocalyptic, infected, on fire, sometimes both. However, between all these, there are some new locations we haven't been to before, like the company's bot factory, isolation chambers, storage rooms. There's a bit more sprinkled around. The main events are seeing more of Dr. Mahler's experiments, and also Jacob's implant is really going haywire, which would make sense when he did the brain interface thing with what's-her-face. Nico or Karen? No, Danny. Right, because it made him hallucinate before, and he uploaded
How
the
is that
evidence to
even-
her brain, but he also saw her vision of the world.
How is that
was
even
it.
close to-
Okay, he's extra crazy now. Enemies can suddenly appear and disappear, where the level itself starts
We have
mocking
DLC
you. It's
crazy.
leaning more into overt horror, which gets a little more surreal at times.
What is this?
And look, another room changing behind you is done to death in horror games, but even with the epilepsy attack, I will gladly take that over another bug QTE. At least
Oh my
it's
God.
something. They're clearly aiming to
Those
make
little
things at
fucking
least a little bit weirder than
baby
the main game.
things, I
It's
hated
more that
them.
They didn't push it that far and probably didn't have the resources to do
Also,
so. They added
the
a few more
pimples that
puzzles
kept trying to
solve and a
fucking make
few new
out with
ways
me
of
with-
doing it,
I-
but they aren't substantial additions.
Just
and if
no.
they are tied into
No.
the horror, it's being done in a very subtle way. And I do like when games have that, but not to the point where I have to wonder if it was intentional or not because it was so mundane. It's another drawback of the game's graphic levels being this high fidelity. It's a lot easier to remix than make brand new content because that is a massive pain in the pipeline. Even Dead Space 3 Awakened, which I've always thought has looked pretty awesome visually, benefited a ton from Dead Space 2 existing, and repurposed a lot to make it seem more fresh inside of 3. The pacing still felt horribly rushed, but at least the visuals were cool. It stayed thematic, and still brought a few new things to the table. In fact, my new playthrough had this one part I didn't remember where all the textures in the world goes away, and one of Elton John's Unitology
What the
soldiers
fuck?
can't handle the ultimate truth. I don't actually think Callisto Protocol had a suicide, but it did have a... Nah, fuck this. It still has its moments, and seems aware that some points in the main campaign could have had more shakeups like this. But even if it did, it wouldn't be a huge game changer. Still, similar to Awakened, it does feel like a glimpse of a game that could have been, where they really leaned into the brain chip malfunctioning more, especially if they had side characters to do it with. Since now, the only person left is Zombie Scientist Lady. Not that you ever had a big RPG group of side characters in the first place, but it's just Jacob and this lady, and Jacob, well, if I had a gun to my head, I don't think I could describe his character. Is denial a character trait? He's not really cowardly. If anything, his combat animations make it look like he's seen some shit. Most FedEx branches aren't teaching the block a punch